Hey guys, Goggsy here and welcome to the UEFA Champions League playoff draw. Today we're going to be covering all three of the competitions. We've got Rangers, Hearts, St Mirren and Kilmarnock all competing. Still, of course, Kilmarnock and St Mirren both have ties to go through in the case that they want to go through to the playoff round. But we've got some guests coming up. Today my co-host is Sonny Kirkwood. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having us.
I'm fantastic, mate. I'm buzzing for this. I'm really looking forward to these ties being drawn. There's some really big hitters that these Scottish clubs could get. So without any further ado, let's get into it. We're going to talk about all three of the competitions first before we delve into the Champions League, because we've got half an hour to build up to it. So if you've got any comments, feel free to leave one, and I'll highlight them, and we'll talk about what any questions people have. Just put my ring light on. There we go. So first and foremost, the Champions League. Rangers, who have got Dynamo Kiev this week, if they win, they will be playing either the winners of Red Bull Salzburg or FC Twente Enschede, or Lille or Fenerbahce. So what do you think of that, Sonny? Who do you think would be the best team to come up against for Rangers?
Well, probably I'm thinking, to be honest, if they beat Kiev, they've got Kiev tomorrow away, don't they?
They start their journey in Ukraine.
Yeah.
I think the game's in a neutral venue. Right. But yeah, because of the politics of Ukraine.
I'd probably say 20 of the Netherlands. You know, you look at them and you think they're probably the side that they can sort of. It's the easier draw, I think. You don't want to be coming up against Fenerbahce, travelling to Turkey, and with FC Twente, I think that'd be an ideal draw.
Yeah, I think Salzburg or Twente is probably the kinder one, because it's a bit close. I mean, Lille, of course, is the closest geographically, but Lille are a very good side. I mean, they gave Aston Villa a good run in the Conference League last season in the quarterfinals. The game's in Lublin in Poland. Thank you for informing me, because southeast Poland. So it's as close to Ukraine as you can get without being in Ukraine. Oh mate, I was in Krakow a couple of years ago when Scotland played Ukraine. That was a wild experience. I
think either 20 or Salzburg. Mm-hmm. So you don't want to be getting Lille or Fenerbahce. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So next up, we're going to talk Europa League. We'll just get the banner up for that, because Hearts are entering at this stage, and they could be playing the winners of SC Braga or Servette, who played Rangers, was it last season in the Champions League qualifiers. Molde FK or Cercle Bruges could be returning to Scotland should they progress against the Norwegians, Erling Haaland's former club. FC Krivbas Kriviri of Ukraine, try to say that when you're meshed, or Victoria Plzeň of the Czech Republic, and then the winners of Midtjylland or Ferencvárosi TC of Hungary. So any Hearts fans that are on watching, please let me know what you think of that. Who would you prefer? For me, I think there's no such thing as an easy draw, but I think the preferred draw would be, in my opinion, Krivbas Krivi or Victoria Plzeň. But it's going to be really difficult, considering Hearts got knocked out by Zurich at this point last season. But what do you think, Sonny?
Yeah, I agree. I think obviously I had a look last night, and the last Europa League or equivalent UEFA Cup was in 2004-05, and they didn't get out of the group. They come third in a group of, I think it was Feyenoord, Basel, Schalke, and there was someone else. Some really
Your
random.
research is very good, though.
Yeah, No, I just had to look last at some really random. I think they were Hungarian, because that was when it was five teams in a group, and they come
Yeah.
third. So it's obviously
They weren't even alive in 04-05. I can't believe you're bringing it up.
2007.
Man, that was the first season I started going to see football.
And they were grouped, weren't they, a couple of years ago in the conference?
Yeah. They played Riga, Istanbul, Başakşehir, and Fiorentina, who went on to be runners-up. AG says Krivbas Krivi. Sorry, I've butchered that. I was always going to butcher that. Braga have one of the most beautiful stadia in the world. So that would be a good trip for Hearts. Of course, thinking of my mate Aaron Fraser, who'll be buzzing for anything that Hearts get, really, but just buzzing to be there. And now we're going to move on to the Conference League to discuss who Kilmarnock and St Mirren could be playing, which I have right here. I better get the branding up first.
They're playing Tromsø, aren't they?
Yeah, Kilmarnock are playing Tromsø, and St Mirren are playing SK Brann. So it's huge for the coefficient. 2 ties against Norwegian outfits who are 12th in the coefficient, whereas Scotland are, I think, 16th. So it's imperative to win these games for the Scottish coefficient. But I have more faith in Kilmarnock than I do St Mirren. But then again, St Mirren are joint top, but behind Celtic on goal difference. So they've had a really strong start, whereas Kilmarnock lost 4-0 to Celtic. But I think that was just a free hit, to be honest.
Well, I mean, St Mirren, I'm not going to try not to bring up Carlisle, but Carlisle played St Mirren in pre-season, and we were the better side. And that's... We've been
but there's not much to read into pre-season friendlies.
No, I mean, I'd like to think there's not much to read into, as we've been beat off 2 sides in divisions below. But I think for Kilmarnock, the obvious, you think they're going to do better. St Mirren have signed Sean Rooney. Is it? Yeah, at Fleetwood. Yeah. I mean, he scored, didn't he? Did he score?
Yeah, he scored in his debut. He scored the first goal for St Mirren, and he was really impressive. Being there myself, so I've got a question. When my mother last year, I think it was now 3 years ago, when we got papped out by Sligo Rovers. It was a great trip to Ireland until the game started. You can just call the coefficient Rangers. We'll see about that. Got a question for AG then. Would you rather see Rangers play in the Champions League, considering there's no drop down anymore to the Europa League? Should they finish basically in like what the third stage would be? So that would be between sides 17 and 24. Or would you prefer to drop down to the Europa League because there's more chance of progression? That'd be. I'd like to see what your thoughts are on that. So Sligo Rovers was the last time Motherwell graced the European stage, and we fell flat on our face. Champions League for the money. Need to close the gap with Celtic. You need to sell players first to actually sign better quality. So I've heard. We'll talk about the teams that Kilmarnock and St Mirren could be playing. Kilmarnock are playing either, should they progress, against Tromsø, 350 kilometres trip inside the Arctic Circle in Tromsø. That's an away day and a half to tick off. So Kilmarnock will be playing either the winners of Copenhagen or Banica Strava from the Czechs. Heidenheim from Germany, that would be a fantastic trip. The winners of Long, because they are already there. Umanoia Nicosia or Fervar of Hungary, or the winners of Trabzonspor and SK Rapid Vienna. That was a mouthful. Stephen Bryce says it'll be a long time before we are back. I completely agree. I don't think we're anywhere near good enough this season. Best player outside the Old Firm looks like Taylor at Hearts, to be honest. Well, it's difficult to judge on one game. Tommy C, I wasn't at the Motherwell game, so the vlog is not going to be out. Otherwise, it would already be out. I was at Stenhousemuir's flag day because I work for Stenhousemuir now. So was Sonny, because we both actually work for. We're on the books at Stenny.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think for Kilmarnock, I mean, they'd prefer an easier draw, wouldn't they? So I'd probably say,
right.
I don't.
I need to mug up on my pronunciation because obviously I've got that on longs. But if you could give me a wee hint to how to pronounce it when Kilmarnock get them in the draw. Anyway, you were saying, Sonny.
I just think for Kilmarnock, I mean, hopefully, if there's a train back, I'm going to go because I need to tick off Rugby Park. If it's a 7 o'clock kick-off, I'll be buzzing. But I think I'm going to butcher the name here like you have. Ammonia. Omanoia. Yeah, that's Cyprus, isn't it?
Yeah, I did French at school actually, but I haven't used it since I got my National 5. I've been to France twice in my life, and I spoke very broken French when I was there both times. One when I was 10 playing football, and the other was for the Scotland game when Kylian Mbappe just ran over the top of us last year. So St Mirren could be getting Fiorentina, the twice runners-up of the competition. That would be a laugh. The winners of, wait for it, Olympia Ljubljana or Sheriff Tiraspol. How did I do there? The winners of Brøndby or Legia Warsaw, Zurich or Vitoria, or the winners of, here's another one, Corvinul Hunudwara or Astana. So those are a couple of interesting ties. I think the best draw for St Mirren, apart from the money side, because obviously Fiorentina would be the best for in terms of gate receipts and basically income. I think the best draw would probably be Corvinul Hunudwara or Astana. I mean, Hunudwara are actually a second-tier Romanian side who won the cup last season. So that'll be very interesting. Or Astana, I mean, I'm pretty sure they would like to avoid a trip across to Borat's country.
So how did
Legia Warsaw. The guy lives in Poland. Wow. Sorry, I cut you off again, Sonny. I'm bad at that.
So how did Astana qualify then for Kazakhstan? Did they win the league?
I think I'll quickly have a wee mug up on Astana while we're.
I wouldn't say. Oh, no offense to anyone from Kazakhstan. I wouldn't expect the league winners to even get into the Europa League qualifiers, to be honest.
Well, the thing is that every nation apart from Liechtenstein have entry into the Champions League qualifiers, and then once they progress past, or if they progress past the first stage, they drop. If they lose the next one, they drop down to the Europa League, and then if they lose that, they drop down to the Conference League until the the league phase now. So, and of course, there's no drop down.
Yeah, no.
I think the Western misinformation from like the Eastern countries plays a part in the whole perception of, oh, you don't want to go to Kazakhstan or Armenia or that region. I mean, Kazakhstan may be a wealthy country, but I mean, I've never been there, so I can't really comment. I mean, but I was in Georgia last year, and that place seemed a bit And infrastructure-wise, it was quite run down. Like the roads were very tacky. I mean, I was on a 4-hour bus journey from where was it? It was Kutaisi. I was traveling from Tbilisi. It was like we finished being at the game. We had a 1-hour turnover. We had to go back to the accommodation and then quickly run to the bus stop. Or we got a taxi from the accommodation to the bus stop, and we were on a 4-hour journey. And the driver was absolutely insane. There's all these winding roads, country roads. Like you think it's bad in Scotland or England, but genuinely we were going up hills and mountains to just get through.
Well, I've just looked then, and they finished because they do 2023 season, 2024 season.
Yes,
like that.
The whole year.
They finished second. They finished second in 2023, and currently the 8th after 13 games in their current season. So
they're 10 points off top Actobe.
Yeah,
I've probably pronounced that wrong as well.
Yeah.
So and they, I mean,
FK Aksu must have went into liquidation. 14 for 0 games, 0 points.
Yeah, or they must have just withdrawn from the league.
Yeah.
And Astana. So, last. So who won that the Kazakh Premier Division then?
Last year it was Ordubasi.
Oh yeah, and they're also in this draw.
Yeah.
AG says, "Nah, I mean in terms of the quality of team, I wouldn't want to go there." Yeah, well, we've seen in previous seasons Celtic struggled over there, losing to Shakhtar Karagandhi, but beating them 3-2 in aggregate after a 3-0 win at home. Legia has the best atmosphere in Europe. Old Firm atmosphere is a total myth, and I say that as a Rangers fan. Oof. It's definitely one to tick off the bucket list then. Can only help you with Slavic, French, Spanish, and German pronunciations, sadly. I mean, that's a lot more than I can.
It's more than, yeah.
I mean, my mum used to teach German, and she lived in Bremen for a year. So, like, that's my only German connections. Yeah, Bobby's going to be on soon as well. He's wrapping up a work meeting, so we're looking forward to him coming on. And yes, as he says, make sure you are subscribed, leave a like, comment, and all that good stuff. We are nearly 100 subscribers away from 12,000 on the channel, so it would be fantastic to reach that within the next couple of weeks. I think that means I lived in Berlin at some point. Hello, John Mitchell. Good to see you back. How are you doing, mate? I think Hearts will have a good season. Yeah, I'm very impressed with the business that Hearts have carried out over the transfer window. I can't see past them finishing below third. I mean, the build-up of the last couple of seasons, of course, being third in the league certainly helps. The butchered third, not last season, the season before last, when they should have absolutely clinched third with about 5 or 6 games to go. Yeah, basically, Alchemins also, yeah. I think I knew that deep down, but like, it's like, I was in Germany, of course, for the Euros, but like, again, I spoke broken German, but it helps when a lot of people speak English, so, and that sort of deters you from actually learning a language, because you know English is a universal second language for a lot of countries. Yeah. Everyone, we've got 18 people in the chat, so feel free to leave a comment and get the conversation rolling, so we've got something to work with, guys. It'd be really good. Germans speak better English than I do. It's a fact. Aidan Alpine says, sorry, when's the Conference League draw? It is at 12 o'clock. No, sorry. 12 o'clock? Am I right? Sorry, it's at 1 o'clock, sorry.
Yeah.
The Europa League draw is at 12. The Champions League draw is at 11, sorry. So we're just going to go back to the branding for those fans of Rangers. Sorry, we've got the branding coming up here. So we've got the possible opponents for Rangers. Just scrolling around the bottom. Only team who can compete with Hearts is possibly Aberdeen for third, but I don't know how good they will be. I mean, they only conceded once in the Premier Sports Cup this season. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. I've seen a couple of Aberdeen fans comment on my TikTok, which is obviously like I did a TikTok doing my predictions for this season, and they were like, it wasn't like they're not that strong yet. Graham Collier says, I enjoyed your vlog, Gogsy, of our European game last Thursday. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, I love the Marco O'Hara volley. Like I've got a lot of time for Marco O'Hara. Like I've spoken to him a couple of times before. He's very sound. Funny sidebar, I was at the Dundee FC calendar signing with my friend a couple, must have been about 7 or 8 years ago. Marco O'Hara was there, and he asked me if I was doing a vlog of it. That was the first time I actually had like an interaction from a player that wasn't a Motherwell player at the time about my channel. So that was pretty cool. When you speak German in Germany, they speak English when they hear your British accent. It's very true. But they do appreciate when you make the effort to speak German. Whereas in my experience in France, they just correct you. Like, the French take no bullshit. 3 Diddy teams, says Parkhead Boy. No wonder who you support. AG says foreigners find it hard to distinguish Scottish and English accents. You probably can't tell Austrian from German. Aye, that's probably spot on. Aberdeen will compete for nothing. Dynamo Kiev. Yeah. Parkhead Boy, just a question for you. If you're coming with the attitude of who cares, then why are you watching the stream? Because we're here to tell stories and accompany people through the draw. That starts in 8 minutes, so we're looking forward to that. So we'll also talk about the groupings of the Champions Path, considering Rangers are part of the Champions Path, and that's getting drawn first. We've got in the seeded section Dinamo Zagreb, Crvena Zvezda of Serbia, or most commonly known as Red Star Belgrade. The winners of Malmo from Sweden or PAOK Thessaloniki, the Greek champions. Midtjylland of Denmark or Ferencvárosi of Hungary. And then in the unseeded version, we have Karabag of Azerbaijan, Ludogorets Razgrad of Bulgaria, Galatasaray, Slovan Bratislava or Apoel Nicosia, Jagiellonia Bialystok of Poland or Bodo Glimt of Norway. AG's probably going to come in and say something. Oh, that's not how you pronounce it. And the winners of AC Sparta Prague or FCSB, or historically known as Stoya Bucharest, the club without an actual name anymore.
The live has just went on, by the way.
I did it quite well, he says. Brilliant. And I'm never going to attempt it again. Team outside of Scotland you have a liking for, if any? What about yourself, Sonny, because you're a Carlisle fan, obviously. Do you have any affiliations with a European side?
Not really. I collect a few football shirts, so I've got, the Werder Bremen shirt.
Yes, my guy, they're my German team.
Your mum will be happy about that.
Wait, one second.
Oh, wait, I can't even think where it is. Well, he seems to be happy about that. I'm going to assume he's going to go and get a Werder Bremen shirt or a something Werder.
Compare notes now. Which Werder Bremen shirt do you have?
I've got the... Oh my God. I'm going to have to look it up to see. It's the home one. Let me have a look on my phone now. I'll have a look.
We'll just read through the comments. Wouldn't want a trip to Malmo. It's basically Mogadishu nowadays. Is that the Aberdeen supporter who used to be on your channel, Gogsy? Now reports for PLZ Soccer. Yes, this is where Kobe started out. Bless him. I'm really happy for him to get the gig at PLZ Soccer. He definitely deserves it. The amount of work he did for me during the COVID season was fantastic. He did a lot of the thumbnails and he was on a lot of the live streams as well. So it's really good to see that he's progressed that far.
2021, the home shirt. That's the one.
Oh, well, I've got the sponsor's been sort of washed off. But
yeah, that's the same sponsor.
Yeah, Wiesenhof. The sponsor. I've also got their change strip from a couple seasons back. That it was like a sort of camouflagey green type thing. It was the purpose of this live. The purpose is to provide you alternate commentary of the Champions League draw for Rangers coming in, and we'll hopefully get a couple of European supported clubs coming in as well. Torino for me, says Everton FL. Sonny, do you have the draw on your screen at the moment?
I have it on my phone.
Yeah, on your phone, because I'm just trying to find it now. There we go. They're just running clips of like Harry Kane celebrating right now. AG's got a few teams: Rangers, Hamburg, Helsingborg, and Copenhagen. Oh, imagine if Kelly got Copenhagen. I love German football. It is genuinely so clear. I've never been to a German club match, but it's always been a dream of mine to go see Werder Bremen. I'll hopefully get to see a couple of German games this season. That would be fantastic. Like I would love to do a weekend of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday games. It'd be wonderful. Sean's a Borussia Dortmund fan. Yeah, absolutely. Like no one does football like the Germans. Sponsor on that top Gogs is the same as all of mine. You see folk with big collections and they look immaculate. Yeah, it's so difficult. Like if you are an avid football shirt collector, then obviously you'll put a lot of time into like maintaining football shirts, etc. But I just don't have the time. I used to wear this to go to bed. I usually wear a football top to go to sleep because I find it comfortable. So that's probably all that tossing and turning. That's probably what the friction of that is probably not helped. I think us in Scotland wear the arse out of it and then just throw it in the wash. Yeah. Yeah, you've got me absolutely spot on.
And England.
But I also really like PAOK. Because I went to see PAOK a couple of times last season. Obviously, they played Hearts and Aberdeen, and the videos on the channel did so well, and I got a lot of invites over to PAOK. So, unfortunately, I didn't get to see them last season again because I'd love to go to the Toomba Stadium. But like, if PAOK were to draw a Scottish team, I'd definitely, I would go to the Scottish home games if it is in Scotland, because of course when it gets the groups or the league phase, there's just a one-off tie. Like obviously in the Champions League it's 8, So 8 different opponents. In the Europa League, it's the same, and the Conference League is 6 different opponents. Should any Scottish side progress to the league phase of the conference? Guess how much my ticket for the Rangers game tomorrow night was? I have an inkling.
So you're going to be really cheap, or
you want to hazard a guess, Sonny?
230.
I think it's a lot cheaper than that.
Yeah.
When I went to the Ukraine versus Scotland game in Krakow, it was the equivalent to £7.57. So I think it was probably
how many have they been allocated? Because if it's
Lublin, well,
have you got it off resale? Have you got it off resale or?
Aye, true.
Yeah, because I'd suspect.
So the Lublin Arena's capacity is 15,242. 5% of that is roughly about 700, I think, or it's like 730 odd. So I'd probably hazard a guess of the allocation being around about there. It was the Ukrainian currency. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it was the equivalent to like £7 or £8, which was very cheap. I bought the match ticket first before booking flights, and then it was like what we did was a route from, because it was the cheapest, we did a £45 flight from Edinburgh to Gdansk, and then we took the train all the way from Gdansk down to Krakow. So that's one end of the country to the other. And we went through Warsaw, so it took about 5 or 6 hours. But we got to see the country of Poland. It was a very good trip. AG's in the home end. I was asking the other guy, he said £230, which would be like £45. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I knew what I'd signed up for, but I was going for what was cheapest because it was double the price for the plane to Krakow, and it was only like £25 for the train from Gdansk. So I saved some capital.
Right, the draw's starting now. Have you got it up?
Yeah, I've got it up here.
Under £9.
Wow, that's...
Well, you can't go wrong, can you?
No, absolutely not. For a Champions League qualifier, that is fantastic. The home game, which will be at Hampden Park for Rangers, probably about £40, I'd say, for home fans. That's what my prediction is, anyway. So we've got they're just running through the procedure for the Champions path of the Champions League playoff qualifiers. Yeah. We've got 23 in the chat, so please feel free to leave a comment what you think, that who you prefer Rangers to get, or any other Scottish representation, for example, Hearts, Kilmarnock, St Mirren. We have some guests coming in later that support Hearts, Kilmarnock and St Mirren, so we're looking forward to that. We've got Sam Smith, who does stuff for St Mirren. We've got Laurie Finlayson, who's a Kilmarnock fan, and we've also got Graham Duthie, who is a Hearts fan. So we're looking forward to having them come on. Graham will be on about 11:45, and Sam and Laurie will be on about 12:45. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that Rangers are going to have a tough season, I think. It's imperative for them to get through to the next stage. But I don't know at this point. I mean, Dinamo Kiev beat Partizan Belgrade 9-2 in aggregate. So they've obviously got a lot of threats. So it's a case of the unknown, because it's been a while since Dinamo Kiev have travelled across to Scotland. I can't remember the last time they did so, if they did. So it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, there's limited options for opposition. Sean says he's a Celtic fan, but he's going to be honest. Couldn't care if Rangers go through or not, but hope the Hearts and that can put a good accord of themselves at least. Also, Rangers played them before in the 90s, so it'll be just going to have a quick look to see how they did. And imagine Rangers probably beat them, but times have changed. The top Ukrainian sides like Shakhtar Donetsk and Dynamo Kiev are quite wealthy, I believe. I'm led to believe. Rangers beat them 2-1 on aggregate in 1987. Rangers lost 1-0 in Kiev in a capacity of 16,000. I think they've got a lot bigger stadium now. And Rangers beat them 2-0 at home with a goal in each half. Serbia supports Russia, so the game with Partizan was much more emotionally charged. Oof, yes, that is quite right. I genuinely think this year Hearts will finish second. That is an interesting call, but I'm all for it. I mean, it'd be nice to see a bit of difference. I mean, I have no persuasion towards Hearts or Rangers, but it would be different to see. I'm sure we beat them, but I was only born 95, so don't remember that. That's fine. That's all right. You're 4 years older than me. Yeah. They're just running through the Champions route right now, so Rangers aren't of any relevance to that, unfortunately for them. Mm-hmm. Take a breath. So Dinamo Zagreb will be playing the winners of Karabag or Ludogorets. Hello, Football Prime Ginger. Long time no speak. I'm good. I'm enjoying not having to worry about this draw. Just on here relaxing at the moment. The winners of pairing 2 will be playing at home. Or Ferencvaros will be playing Slovan Bratislava or Apoel. Hibs had an awful start yesterday.
3-0.
Yes, St Mirren looked to be a formidable force this season, but then again, they've only played 3 competitive games. Yeah, I've heard good things about Bratislava. It's quite affordable from Scotland, so it would be a good trip. I wasn't there, so I refused to comment. But apparently we controlled the game, but we had a lack of finishing edge or whatever words to that effect.
Stenos Muir didn't.
Stenos Muir could never.
What a free kick that was, by the way.
Oh no, that was something else.
Right in the top corner.
No. The football's quite entertaining at that level. Actually, I've quite enjoyed it. And it felt good not having to worry too much about the result. I mean, even though I work for Stenos Muir, like Motherwell's my team. So they're about to draw the league path now.
Here we go.
AG says he flew to Vienna and did both in a weekend. Preferred Bratislava, not that he would recommend Vienna too.
Like,
John Mitchell says he'd like Hearts to draw Cercle Bruges. I think Hearts would have a good chance of getting through against them, but also they could be playing Molde, which is a team that has good European pedigree, where Cercle Bruges are only in their 4th season in European, 5th season in European football.
I'd like to think so, Graham. With all this money we've been spending on, well, not on players, but on wages, with Charlie Wyke. I don't know if you've heard of him, Gogsy. $7 grand a week. $7 grand a week.
$7 grand a week for Carlisle?
That's
Sorry, you're going to have to get me a trial, mate.
I'll try my best. But, yeah. No, I'd like to think so. We've stuck with the manager as well, who got relegated last season, and he's from Carlisle, local. So... And he's done it before. He got us promoted without a budget a couple of years ago. So with a budget, he should be able to really get automatic promotion.
Rangers have been drawn against the winners of Salzburg or Twente Enschede.
Ideal, in my opinion, out of who they could have got.
I mean, it's a difficult draw. Nonetheless, I mean these teams played very well in their respective seasons to get here. So it's going to be a difficult task either way for Rangers.
Any European game's a difficult task. Doesn't really matter who you play on the night. Anything can.
Sorry, someone's rung the doorbell, so I'm going to go see who that is.
FC 20 or Salzburg, sorry. The Rangers. Gonna have a look where 20 finished last season. 20 finished 3rd last season.
False alarm, it wasn't for us. It's fine. So we'll go through some more questions. We've got 34 people in the live stream, so let me know what your thoughts are on Rangers draw. Getting a very difficult time, Salzburg or Twente Enschede. Football Prime Ginger says he was in the Clyde media team last season. Stenny was great with them. We've had there's been a change in staff. Obviously, we've got a brand new media team. Myself and Sonny are part of that. It's been good so far. AG loves the English lower leagues. Similar vibe to Scotland. And it's not polluted with money. Well,
until teams start spending.
Polluted with money. Carlisle spending $7 grand a week on a player. That is something I didn't expect to hear on Monday morning.
It's just I mean, that's money we've never seen before. Yeah, our owner, up until he actually died the other week, but up until a couple of years ago.
Oh, well, just slip that into a conversation. He actually died the other week. Oh, right, aye.
No, up until a couple of years ago. No, when was it? It was November 2023. So, not even a year ago, he was our owner, and he was just a local businessman. And now we've got an American family who run a logistics company who turn over 700 million a year.
Yay! Logistics company.
And we've got a.
Just say they own warehouses, mate. We all know what that means.
And now they're redoing the whole ground, spending $7 grand a week on players. So hopefully we'll get promoted back to League One after a record low win rate in League One for any club ever.
Oh, brilliant. We're going to get some more comments in a second. I'm just going to post the link to the live stream for the Europa League onto Twitter and stuff. I forgot to post on Instagram. We are 115 subscribers away from 12k, guys. So if we could reach that very soon, if you've not subscribed already, please do so. That'd be much appreciated. And we're gonna change the title of the stream for the Europa League. Must say thank you very much to Sonny for the graphics for the thumbnails. They are actually top class. Hopefully we get some baited attention from the the continent.
Definitely.
That'd be class. Europa League. AG says we're not beating the Ukrainians anyway. English football from League 2 to Championship is entertaining because of the fans. Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I've been to a League 2 match before. Saw Newport County play against Wimbledon when Akinfenwa was playing for them.
Oh.
Josh Sloan is glad that Rangers avoided Fenerbahce. Now that would have been a game to go to. Like,
oh yeah,
like genuinely, I would actually apply for a press pass for that.
Mm-hmm.
That
I think I would as well.
I mean, not that I would get it. there's no guarantees, but that would genuinely be like the atmosphere. Even though I think the atmosphere would be class. And I'm sure Fenerbahce would bring a few fans to that. AG says we just signed 20's captain and gave them Sam Lammers. We would pump them anyway. Pump them, to be honest. Can't see us beating Kiev though. Yeah, Rangers got the winners of RB Salzburg or Twente Enschede. Put that in the banner. This is so fidgety. There we go. I can't wait for the content. Like if Rangers get beat by Dynamo Kiev, Celtic fans will be like, "Oh, they can't, couldn't even handle a chicken Kiev or something like that." Karim Konate hat-trick inbounds. All right, okay. Well, no comment. Callum Coyle, my guy. Kent playing against Rangers would be something else. The draw starts at 12 o'clock our time, so we'll be getting onto that very soon to talk about Hearts in the Europa League. Just posting that. Just posting this on socials. Right, so we've got John Mitchell's coming in saying Hearts new signing Gerald Taylor looks like a great signing. Good to hear. I look forward to seeing how Hearts do in Europe. Obviously, they're guaranteed 8 European ties, so I'm looking forward to maybe trying to get along to at least one of them. Better change the thumbnail. Yeah. Done. So we've got 16 people in the chat. Feel free to leave a comment what you think of Rangers' chances, or who you hope Hearts or St Mirren or Kilmarnock to get coming up. Hearts squad is ridiculous. They have so much depth. Yeah, well, it's actually refreshing to see, because you've seen, obviously, a lot of clubs have sort of fallen away post Europa or like Conference League stuff because they've struggled with injuries. I mean, Rangers are notorious for struggling with injuries in recent times. Graham will be on at 11:45, but I'll message him now to say he can come in whenever he pleases, because we're sort of done with the Champions League. I was expecting it to run a bit longer, but of course there is very few teams participating in the Champions League at this point, and obviously the Europa League, Conference League are polluted with teams. Like it's such a much bigger competition, so that in that way I appreciate that a bit more, because you get to see like teams from like Israel get into like the last 16, for example, which is refreshing, I would say, because like you usually get, obviously the top 5 leagues are heavily represented in the Champions League, and then the lower the ranks go, you've got teams from, say, Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, Faroe Islands even coming into the Conference League group stage, which is like we saw Klaksvik from the Faroe Islands draw against Lille last season in the Conference League. That was that was a brilliant result for them. Yes, I mean, Celtic have played Hapoel Beersheva and beat them 5-2 at home. I think it was probably about 2014 after losing away. Yeah, Kelly had to play Brad Lyons at fullback because of the injuries. Yeah, that wasn't good for him. So I've just messaged Graham saying come in at any point. Aye, it was 5-2 at home and got beat 2-0 away in 2016. I was close. My encyclopedic knowledge is failing me at times. Not as sharp as I used to be. So now we're going to move on to the chat for the Europa League. Just quickly. I think I forgot to send Graham the link. There we go, send him it now. How unprofessional of me. I think it's a bit beyond St Mirren to get group football, but I would love to see it. Like, I've got a lot of respect for Stephen Robinson, and if St Mirren were to get into group stage football, I mean, they've already done fantastic. They've scored the most amount of goals they've ever scored in one game in European football, which was 4 against Villa. But there's a possibility St Mirren could be getting Fiorentina should they progress against SK Brann. So, like, obviously when you get to the playoff stage, it's actual like teams that play regular group football or league phase football. So the pedigree is a lot tougher at this stage, but I mean, you've got to be in it to win it. Cheers, Bobby. Thanks for the support. Graham will be on very soon, so looking forward to having him on, and we'll sit and talk about Hearts and what he thinks for the season ahead. Graham Caldwell says, I fear for David Gray after yesterday. Hibs still look fragile. We didn't play well, but still scored 3. Hibs could be no points from 6 out of the League Cup by the end of August. I don't think Muller will play Hibs anytime soon. It's a shame. I mean, it'd probably be a 0-0 draw when we play Hibs. Mm-hmm. Because we genuinely look awful at the moment. Just a bit of constructive criticism for Stuart Kettlewell. Sign us creative midfielder we'll be alright. Defensively, we're a bit better.
Your vlog against, who did you play in the Premier Sports Cup? Was it St Mirren?
Partick Thistle.
Partick Thistle. Wow. What a
Mate,
I don't even know how to describe it.
Soul destroying stuff.
Or the penalty shootout.
Yeah. I just wish I stayed home that day. Bet you've had a few times like that. Watching Carlisle.
Well, last season was just filled with them. You went to Portsmouth in October somewhere.
That's a trek. That's like a holiday for you.
Yeah, no, I've been to everywhere. Portsmouth, Exeter. Got beat off Portsmouth in the 92nd minute from a corner header, 1-0. Where else? Gillingham. Been to Gillingham 2 seasons ago. Header at the back post in the 95th minute, 1-0 to Gillingham. Just a 7-hour bus journey to get back, but
oh man,
it's football.
Worst thing is you can't legally get steaming either.
No.
Imagine that 7-hour journey being completely dry. I couldn't do that.
That was another one. Reading last season on a Tuesday night. Guess what the score was?
Didn't you just get pumped?
5-1. 5-1. We got pumped on a Tuesday night in Reading.
You would have got home till like 4-5 o'clock in the morning.
I got home. I think it was about 4:15. School and then school at 8:30.
Mate, I'd have just stayed up and just ridden.
Yeah, well,
ridden the wave.
I had the day off to actually get there since the bus set off at about 12 o'clock. So I just said I'd go in the next day and
Can't come in, teach. I'm going to Reading. I think you get worse for a prison sentence.
Yeah.
I don't want to make this about Celtic because you probably don't care. Where do you rank this squad compared to others? I'm happy to talk about Celtic. I mean, I haven't seen too much in the way of business they've done. I mean, obviously they were across the pond in America, so they'll probably do a bit more business in the last 26 days or 25 days of the month. But I don't, when you think of the past Celtic squads that they've had, for example, the undefeated season in 2017-18, I think it's not even close yet. I mean, I think they'll still win the league comfortably this season. But if they want to actually be competitive in the Champions League, then they've got to actually sign a couple more players. If they keep Matt O'Reilly, that'd be huge. Paulo Bernardo coming in permanent is a good bit of business. You'll probably sell him for about 15-20 million in a couple of years. So I mean, it's good from a Celtic point of view, but as an outsider, obviously I don't really pay attention too much to Rangers and Celtic because I prefer looking at the other teams in the league, because there are so many other sources of media that cover Rangers and Celtic to death, and it's for me it's refreshing to see the likes of St Mirren Kilmarnock playing European football because you don't get that every season. Obviously St Mirren played their first game in European football in 37 years, which was a great achievement for them. Graham Colwell says we're not strong enough to reach the group stages. I think Brann will be too much for us. Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, they beat Go Ahead Eagles in the last round, which was a big scalp for them. Plus, Brann have a history of playing regular European football. I think they got relegated a couple of seasons ago, though, so they were out of the top flight. And obviously, since coming back, they've got stronger. And they're also midway through their season, because in Norway, they run through the calendar year instead of over 2 calendar years. Saw Motherwell play last week against Thistle. Couldn't believe how negative the football was. Too much sideways passing, not enough movement. It's like, we only needed a draw to go through, but it's like it was almost like just don't lose the game, and we were far too safe. Needs to change soon, or it is going to be a long season. There's a part of me that's actually glad I'm not going to every game. I did every game last season, and there were some really good moments and there were some really bad moments. But now I'm trying to focus on my career. As it's sunny, we're both working for Sennius Muir now, so I'm on the TikTok and YouTube stuff, so it's good fun. I believe this is a Greek username. It's good to have someone from Greece coming in to watch. I don't think we're anywhere near the Ange treble winning team in terms of quality and depth. No, I completely agree. I think if Celtic signed about 4 or 5 more players, I think you'd be more comfortable. God, this is a difficult. This is a political question, if anything. I'd say the quality of the league is probably waning. I think the sign of a strong league would be the biggest 5 clubs finishing in the top 5. But I love the story of a so-called smaller club finishing in the European spots. I mean, that's what I live for. I love the underdog story. But it's difficult because there's so many inconsistencies throughout the league. It's really tight because no one's good enough to be consistent outside the top 3. Because Hearts have been really good over the last couple of seasons since coming back up, but everyone else, it's a dogfight from 4th until 12th, really. What do you think, Sonny, as an outsider looking in? What do you think about Scottish football?
Well, the fans are better. I know someone said before that English fans are mint, but I think the Scottish ultras, especially, do you know who I really like? Block 7 Hibs. I like them. I like all of them, to be fair. You've got who is it? Motherwell,
the Well Boys.
5. Is it? Yeah. And then, I mean, you even look at, I was watching, who was it Blair McAnally the other day? Yeah. Even you look at Johnson Borough. I know he's asking about the Premiership, but did you watch the Johnson Borough vlog?
I haven't got around to it yet, but I've heard it's really good.
Unreal. There was about 300 kids just in one stand, just bouncing over. 10 out of 10 for a semi-final of an amateur cup.
Welcome, Graham. Great to have you on, mate. The representative for Hearts, the stream. Welcome.
Cheers, guys. Hope you're all right.
Yeah, we're fine. We've just been covering who Rangers got in the previous draw. So we've got the potential Hearts opponents running along the bottom of the screen there. What do you think about your chances in the Europa League this season?
I want to try and avoid Braga or Servette. I think that's probably the toughest ties. I wouldn't mind Victoria Pilsen or that Ukraine name I'm not even going to try and pronounce because I can't say it. But I think I think they do right against most of them. Moldar, Cercle Bruges. I mean, Cercle Bruges didn't look great against Kilmarnock. We could potentially beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Ferencvaros, who played them years ago, and Midtjylland are a decent Danish side. It's tough, very, very tough, but I want to avoid Braga or Servette. So it's guaranteed that's who we'll probably get now I've said that.
Would you be going across to Portugal or Switzerland?
I hope so. I would love to make that. I've not been to a Hearts away European game before, so I'd love to actually go abroad, but see how it goes. It's great to have European football back again, though.
Oh, definitely. I mean, from my experience in European football, I wouldn't advise it, but then again, I suppose I will.
No, I've had mates on that have made trips over and said it's amazing. So I'd love to actually sample a European away game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was at the games against Rosenborg and PAOK last season, and in terms of atmosphere, Tynecastle's fantastic. Of course, you'll know that yourself. But like on a European night, that I really enjoyed. Like even taking it in as a neutral, but leaning towards Hearts, of course, for the coefficient's sake. But yeah, we've got a couple more comments in. Motherwell, they're the only team who can go half a league campaign winless and still keep the same manager. Yeah, welcome to life being a Motherwell fan. We've got a Omonia Nicosia fan in the chat. I'd rather not comment on that. Sean says, I think we are a Matt O'Reilly transfer away from a massive problem because bar him, I don't think there's anyone valued that highly currently in the whole league anyway. God, we've got a lot of political questions in here, but we've got to talk about a larger league which we'll save for a rainy day. But we're here to talk about Europa League right now. So we've got Hearts playing against potentially. I'll run through the teams again. Prepare for me butchering the names. SC Braga of Portugal, or Servette from Switzerland, who Rangers played a couple of seasons ago, or last season, I think. Molde FK, Erling Haaland's former club, or Cercle Bruges, who of course beat Kilmarnock in the previous round. Sorry. Krivas Krivi of Ukraine, or Victoria Pilsen, or Midtjylland, or Ferencvaros of Hungary. Let us know in the comment section what you think. Thank you very much. Congrats on the new job. Young, talented. I'm not that young anymore, but still, I'll take that. Yes, I really enjoyed the game against Valour. I love going to European football matches. Like it's a dream of mine. Like obviously, when I'm older, hopefully having more money, I'll hopefully get to some games on the continent. That'd be fantastic. But Graham, have you sampled any games abroad ever?
No. I've just through money and work and stuff, just never had a chance to go. So I'm hoping that this time I actually get to make a trip.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic for you. Sonny, have Carlisle ever had any foreign forays before, like even in a pre-season friendly or anything like that?
Well, I'm sure it was the 60s, we beat Roma away in the Anglo-Italian Cup, but I think the club milk it a little bit too much with t-shirts and mugs and everything with the 2-1 scoreline on. But I think that's all we've done. Back in 2005, I think they went to Ibiza for a pre-season tournament. I don't know.
You mean for a piss up? For a piss up, really?
I don't know how that went on the night, but yeah, that's about it. And then playing St Mirren in a pre-season friendly this season. It's about as far as we get.
Hello, Kelly. How you doing? I will, of course. My only experience from Motherwell was Sligo, and that was a horror show. Great trip till the game started. But for Scotland, I've been to San Marino, Poland for the Ukraine game. Last year was in France, Cyprus, and Georgia as well. Those were some trips and a half. I think I aged 100 years actually. Watching Motherwell last season, going to every single game. Like in that run of playing 15 games without a win, I spent over £500 to see Motherwell win one game, and that was against Livingston. Like from September till Christmas time, it was woeful. But anyway, we won't talk about that. Yes, absolutely. I wasn't going to bring it up, but yeah, Motherwell winning the Copa del Rey in the 20s. It's probably our biggest ever achievement, even though there was only 4 teams in it. We played Swansea and Real Madrid, and we beat Real Madrid. But that didn't count anything towards the coefficient because that didn't exist back then. Jamie says, from a Hearts fan, I think Motherwell... Yeah, you're telling me. I've watched this. Like, God. No one's expected us to do well, which I actually relish because we've been written off many times before, but we've stayed in the top flight for 40 years. We're the 3rd longest serving club in the top flight currently, so we'll take that. I mean, I'm going to say it until we can't say it anymore. Graham, we've actually had a lot of love for you in the chat. Of course, you're on your TikTok account. If you want to give that a wee mention, then please do so.
Yeah, I am on TikTok. I have about 4,000 followers on that, and I think my handle is @hearts_enthusiast. So give it a follow.
He's just giving me flashbacks to the last time we played Adrian got beat 2-0. That's just no good for anything. Oh dear. We've got 19 minutes until the start of the draw procedure, so we're just basically going to waffle until then. But they're just running through the ads again. Clips of Harry Kane scoring for a Europa League thing. I mean, I think that's quite fitting, actually.
Been the scoring Hearts, though.
Correct, yeah. Were you at that game?
I was.
It was a good 46 minutes, wasn't it?
I was at the Tynecastle game, and to be fair, Tottenham were we played in European game against Tottenham ages ago, and that was a lesson of football Tottenham gave us that day. Like, they had a lot of quality, and in the friendly that we played a couple of weeks ago, we were actually competitive for an hour, and they just fell apart.
I think that a lot of that's to do with like the subs that were made midway through the second half, because I did see Shankland scoring in 46 minutes, and then I thought, all right, that's a good result, but losing 5-1, of course, that was a bit of a disaster. But I mean, I was considering actually going to that because I live a bus ride away from Tynecastle, but I was like 30 quid for a friendly is a bit steep in my opinion.
I read nothing at the pre-season games. A lot of Hearts fans on Twitter were going mental after Fleetwood. I read nothing into these games, and it proved that the Rangers game on Saturday, pre-season games mean nothing. So it's fitness.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Motherwell went undefeated in pre-season, and we ended up being catastrophic in the group stage and still going through after winning 2 games in 90 minutes. And then again, it could be a false indicator because teams sort of like there are only a few teams that actually take the group stage seriously. Of course, Ross County, Dundee, and Aberdeen winning all 4 of their games quite comfortably. But like when it gets to the real stuff, I mean, of course, we should have beaten Ross County on Saturday, but we struggled.
No Theo Bear, that's why.
Yeah, I would say so. Theo Bear's going to be a huge miss. I didn't think I'd be saying that last year. But like, I trust Kettlewell to an extent, but it's just the brand of football hasn't been the same since not last season, but the season before last. Like in the last like sort of 2-3 months, we were really good, and it's like we wait until the last quarter of the season to actually start playing all right stuff. And I mean, it's enough to keep us up, but it's brutal to watch for the other 3 quarters.
Well, we've got one of you guys, Blair Spittle, and Naismith said himself that he's probably suffered most in pre-season playing that number 6 role because that's not his position. But I think now we've got Boateng and a couple players to come back, it'll let Spittle go further forward. I generally think he'll get at least 15 goals this season from midfield.
That's refreshing to hear, because when I saw him going to Hearts, I thought, right, he's just going to be a squad player, because the depth that Hearts have, which is great for yous, because I think that's something you've lacked in previous European campaigns, because of course, like, sometimes you've struggled, like, sort of juggling the two, European football and domestic, but like, hopefully he's go far and you'll actually make the Europa League, and a good fist of it, because of course there's a lot more money in it, but there's actually an all right chance of actually going through in the conference, depending on who you get. We've got a couple more comments. Score predictions for tonight's game at Aberdeen versus Mini Hearts. Graham, I'll let you take this one.
I'm going 2-0 Aberdeen. I've done a prediction video a couple of days ago and I've said that I've got St Johnstone to go down. I just don't think they've got enough quality. They have basically signed a Hearts C team with a amount of ex-Hearts players who've got on their team, but I just don't see them good enough. And I think Aberdeen under Thielen will do well. I've got them finishing 4th, so I'm going 2-0 Aberdeen.
Okay, fair enough. I've got Ross County bottom and St Johnstone 11th, but I think it's going to be very tight between the two, because I mean, Ross County losing Danda and Simon Murray, like, two of their most influential players of the last couple of seasons. I think is not disastrous for them, because of course they've still got time to rebuild. Like, we've got 25 days left of the transfer window, so, but then again, transfers do take time to actually go through. Sean says Jan Danda is a joke. By the way, how's he settled in?
He's looked all right. He was pretty good in pre-season. I thought he was good on Saturday, playing that kind of a more advanced role, a number 10 role. Did a brilliant little Rabona cross in the second half. I think if I tried that, I'll break my leg. But I generally think it's going to be class. I'm a big fan of Danda, always have been, and he will definitely get game time, because one thing I think we lacked last season was that bit of creativity. But I think getting Danda in, getting Spittle in, Barry Mackay's back, Liam Boyce is there. I think we've got more creativity, and if he stays, which is the big one, I can see Shankland even doing better than he did last season.
I think that's a good shout. Thanks, Chris, for the constant reminder that Motherwell are not very good at the moment. County 12th, St John's 11th, Motherwell. I will take 10th at this point. Like, things are, like, I don't want to keep constantly belittling the club, but like, we've signed a lot of players, so it's obviously going to take time to gel, but they're all professionals and they should be able to settle in quite quick. I'm just hoping that we don't have a chaotic season like last year. Right, 1 minute, guys. I'm going to go and get a drink of water because my throat's getting parched. I'll let you take a minute as well if you've not got a drink yourselves. Yeah. Right. We'll just take a quick 2 minutes. We'll be back very soon. I was serious when I said very soon, by the way. We've got 36 viewers in the chat. Feel free to leave a comment what you think on this season so far or going forward. Gibbo says, if Motherwell lost my bet, that's on you for betting Motherwell. It's your fault. I would have liked us to have signed Simon Murray to fill the street. I'd have loved Simon Murray to join Motherwell, but he's gone back to Dundee because of family reasons, which is absolutely fair enough. And he's probably on more money at Dundee than what we could have offered them.
I was talking to Motherwell mate last week after Motherwell drew with Partick, and I said to him that I know it wasn't a great game, but I was surprised at the reaction of some Motherwell fans booing after that, because you did get through. Maybe it wasn't a great performance, but you did get through. I was surprised at the reaction of some of the Motherwell fans, generally.
That's the thing. In Scottish football, a lot of us are quick to jump on the bandwagon of booing the team. I never boo the team, even when we get beat 3-0 by Ross County in December last year in Dingwall on a Tuesday night. I don't boo the team. Like, I don't have enough effort for that. And also, as someone who goes every week, I'm just like, well, it's just another game ticked off. We'll get beat 5-0. I mean, obviously, you've had your troubles in the past at Hearts. When I've thought it's a bit quick to jump on the boot, like obviously when Robbie Nielsen was there, you were still finishing high in the league, and you were still booting, or some support of Hearts were booing the team, which I thought was a bit weird. What do you think about that, Graham?
Yeah, I liked Robbie Nielsen, but I think the issue that Robbie had, and a lot of Hearts fans might disagree, the season Hibs won the league. They knocked the cup. They knocked Hearts out the cup. We were 2-0 up. They got a 2-2 draw, then beat us at Easter Road. They went on to win the cup. A lot of Hearts fans never forgave Robbie for that. No, I liked him. I think he did a really good job at Hearts. Had us finished in third a couple of times. When he left to go to MK Dons, we were second. He was a really good manager. But when he was sacked, the time was right. It's just a shame that we then appointed duds after that.
Yes, we've got a couple more comments coming in. I love this interaction from everyone, guys. We've got 44 in the chat. This is the peak that we've reached so far. Hopefully we get more coming in as the day progresses. Joseph Coyle says, hello, everyone. How are you all feeling today? I'm feeling grand, mate. I'm watching a cup draw at Motherwell and in, so I'm actually relaxed for once. Francis Wilson asks who you'd prefer to get, Graham.
I would say the Ukrainian team or Victoria Pilsen. I don't want either of the top two teams, because I think if we get Braga or Servette, we're probably out. But I would quite happily take the Ukrainian team or Victoria Pilsen.
Riley says prediction for St Mirren against Bran. We've got Sam Smith coming in later on to talk St Mirren, as well as Laurie Finlayson for Kilmarnock. They'll be in from about 12:45. So we're looking forward to having them on. But I don't think St Mirren will progress against Bran, but I really hope they do. Bran are a decent side with European pedigree, so they beat Go Ahead Eagles in the last round, which was a decent scalp for them, considering the not wealth, but the comfortability that the Eredivisie has, and they've just got a new multi-million pound deal with TV over there. Callum Ross says Hearts to split the Old Firm this season. Rangers to finish third. What do you think, Graham? Do you think
I would love to say yes, and I think we've got a very good squad. But the issue that I've got is playing Thursday, Sunday. Playing the European games is going to be very difficult. And after our European games, we've got a run where we play Hibs, Aberdeen, Celtic, and Rangers. 3 away from home. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
I think if we're consistent, we could, but I don't think we're going to. I would love to say yes, but I don't think we will.
I think you've got a chance though, because Rangers obviously will be playing group football as well, and they're notorious for having injury problems come September, October time. So I think there's a chance, but then again, Rangers have the resources to pull away from the rest of the chasing pack, whereas of course Hearts have a bit more money than most of the other clubs in the league. So it'll be interesting to see this season, because I think Hearts and Rangers are a bit closer than they have been in recent years.
What surprised me on Saturday was, and I said this to a mate of mine as well, I actually thought Hearts' bench on Saturday was stronger than Rangers was.
Oh, fair enough. It's a good shout. Sonny, what do you think about Hearts' chances this season from an outsider?
To be honest, I think it could go either way with Hearts and Rangers. You said about obviously injury-prone Rangers. But I think, Lawrence Shankland, like Graham said, I think he can do even better than last season as well. I'll never forgive, I think it was Stephen Presley, who he played for Rangers, Celtic, Hearts as well, I think, for not giving Lawrence Shankland a contract at Carlisle after he came on trial with us.
Did he play for Rangers? I can't remember that.
Presley, I think he started at Rangers, I think, or the other way around, because he definitely played for Celtic and Rangers.
Yeah, I think he went from Hearts to Celtic. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He played for Rangers and a team called Randers in Denmark. So just
Yeah,
one
I think
letter away from. Yeah,
think he
you're right. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
That's something I didn't know.
No, yeah, he was honestly one of the worst managers we've ever had at Carlisle. I don't think he's managed since.
Yeah, he hasn't since 2019.
Yeah, no, yeah, he was I think he had about 6 months, and he was. Oh, what was it? I don't even know how to describe him as a manager. He had his green notebook on the side, and he must have written off in it. He had it with him in his hand. No one ever seen it open or anything. He was there for sure. I mean, he come from Paphos, some random team. Yeah, was it
Cyprus.
Paphos? Yeah, he come from there, and he just absolutely the only half. Well, to be fair, he offered Jared Branthwaite, now at Everton. He offered him his first ever pro deal. So
Did you get any money from that?
we got just over $1 million for Branthwaite, and then we've got no one knows the exact
an undisclosed fee.
Yeah, we had an undisclosed fee, and no one knows the exact sell-on clause we've got for him. People say 10%, people say 20%, but until he gets sold, and the what's it called? The finances at the end of the year come out. we'll never know.
Finlay says he saw me at the Scotland-Finland game. Well, if you came over to say hello, I'd have said hello back. There's a question for Graham. How many signings are Hearts off from challenging for a title? For context, Jan Danda apparently said Hearts can win the Premiership this season.
I did see that, and I like his positivity. It won't happen. I would love to say it will, but it won't. I don't think we need any more signings. I think we've got a very good squad. We've got a squad of 29, which will go up to 30 once Andrea Salazar, the left back, signs. So I think we're pretty much sorted. But the biggest thing for me is we have to keep Lawrence Shanklin. That's the difficult one. If he goes, how did he play together? Got 30 goals last season. But I think we're actually all right. I think if we didn't have Europe, I think we could challenge for the title. But having European football, I think it's very difficult to balance the two. But I'm generally happy with the squad we've got. I think it's a very good squad.
Yeah, I think you're stick-ons for third place at least, because no one else has a squad that deep or with that quality, which is a shame because obviously Hibs and Aberdeen are usually the prime suspects for challenging Hearts for that spot, but I don't think either of them are strong enough to compete with Hearts yet. We've got a couple more comments. Jamie Addis says, hope Hearts get Cercle Bruges if they get through. I think that'd be a good game, actually. But I think we'd prefer Hearts to get that Ukrainian team. And I think Callum says he's a Celtic fan. I think he forgot the E and the L. Graham, thoughts on that Colombian Salazar? As we were just talking, who was he playing for?
I can't remember the name of the team in Colombia I was playing for. I had it in my head and I can't remember who it was. But it'll be a good option for Penrice. I think he's only 21. Seems to. I watched a couple of YouTube clips. Looks very impressive. But I like James Penrice. I thought he was excellent Saturday. Really good competition though. If we have, say, Salazar on the left and Gerald Taylor, who looks outstanding on the right, then I think we've got very good options there.
Yeah. I'm just trying.
I think it was something Nacional. I think it was.
I'll get that now. Andres Salazar played for Atletico Nacional. Christopher Mullen says he said the same. Hearts could finish second this season. Again, I think that would be great for Scottish football. Jamie says, did you see Rangers are getting fined about 10 to 10 million?
I think it's 10 million means.
Yeah. I did not see that. That's going to be a kick in the stains for them.
Well, they definitely will get Lawrence Shankland. They can't afford them.
Yeah, we've got a lot of comments saying Hearts will split the Old Firm. Graham said, "Oh, here we go, another comment from Motherwell. I think Motherwell will do better than people think. Either the new signing up front or the boy Moses Abai. Love Moses. Genuinely, like he's a cult hero already. Scored his first touch against Dundee last season to win 3-2. Absolute scenes. It wasn't his first touch, but still, great night or a great day. We've already. Chris says, I was confused with Derek McKenna saying 4 flattered Celtic. I thought, come on, we're lucky it was only 4. But I think, well, a lot of clubs consider that a free hit. Obviously, not the attitude you want to have, but I think Kilmarnock had one eye on Thursday night because Tromso is a team that I think Kilmarnock can beat. They gave Cercle Bruges a good game at Rugby Park, and to win at Rugby Park on Thursday night would be a great foundation for them. But I mean, they've got a difficult trip to Tromso after that. They need to be. I think they need to be 2 or 3 ahead in order to have safe passage to the next round, because Tromso is 350 kilometres inside the Arctic Circle. So be a different climate compared to what we have in the summer. Jamie said, why do I have Haaland on my TV screen instead of a bunch of people? I think that's the advert that everyone gets when they click on the stream.
It's on now.
Yeah, it's on now, so that they're just running through the procedure. They're going to do the technical video that they have to run through. Do you think Hearts could get somewhere in Europe, Graham?
It depends on the draw. I think we'll probably, like I say, if we get a decent draw here, we could actually get through because it's only one round. We could get through, but I've got a feeling we'll be in the Conference League. And I think, again, depending on who we get, we could win a couple of games in there. But the money aspect would be huge.
Yes. Should Tavernier have left for Turkey when he had the chance? I think I'm unqualified for that opinion to give. We now have 69 people in the chat. That's the highest we've reached so far in the stream today. Feel free to leave a comment. What do you think about Hearts' chances in the Europa League? Kilmarnock and St Mirren as well. Even your reaction to Rangers getting Red Bull Salzburg or 20 Enschede. Let me know. HMFC Edit says, all right, Graham, came from your TikTok.
Thank you.
Stuart Ibbotson says, I think Aberdeen will finish 3rd, Hearts 4th, and St Johnstone to finish bottom, and Ross County to go via the playoffs. JJ says that Hearts will get Braga.
God, I hope not.
Did Ian Murray get sacked by Leith Rovers? I saw he left, but I didn't think he got sacked.
He got sacked yesterday morning. They basically said that the results and performances since the turn of the year wasn't good enough, so they sacked him, which I just think is really, really harsh.
So why wait until the 4th of August to do such a thing? Like, surely if you're going to sack your manager, you give the new manager coming in the full June to start working on the signings, and in pre-season. That's absolute madness. I can't,
especially given how well they did last season. You know, obviously the playoff game against County, they were found out in the second leg, but they had a good season. I just think it's very harsh.
It is. I know it's a results business, but what are you supposed to expect? Like, Dundee United were clear favourites for that league, and they ran them so close. It's absolute madness. Capri says Hearts will probably secure at least 3rd by February. They look really good for your Rangers, and if they keep Shankland, they could be in for a really good season.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
Daryl says he's a Hibs fan, but I don't think Hibs are going to be good enough this season. Already had a poor game away at St Mirren. Yeah, I watched that. It was baffling. But I said in my predictions that Hibs would finish 7th because I don't think they've got enough for the top 6, which is alarming considering the amount of finances they've brought in this year. yes, we'll be doing the Conference League draw. We've got Sam Smith and Laurie Finlayson from their respected clubs coming in from about 12:45. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the draw live reaction, and then we're going to sit and talk about it, see what other interesting ties are going to be made, and then we'll have two guys coming in to help the stream. JJ says Graham is the TikTok goat.
Thank you.
Graham, what's the best stadium you've been to in an away trip?
I've not been away from home in Europe, but for me, I've actually been to Wembley, and I've been to Newcastle, I've been to Liverpool.
Oh, nice.
Probably Anfield though. Love Anfield.
Was that the game in Europe against Liverpool? Oh no, sorry, you said that you've not been to.
No, I went to me and my laddie went to a Legends game at Anfield, but just amazing.
I was at a Legends game between Man United and Barcelona at Old Trafford.
Oh.
That was an experience and a half. So we've got the first group of the playoffs coming into it. We've got a couple of big names in there: Panathinaikos, Ajax, Besiktas, all the way down to Anderlecht are in it as well. All the way down to Petroclub from Moldova and the New Saints from Wales. The draw is happening very soon. They're just running through the procedures right now. This guy doesn't think Shankland would suit Celtic's system. It doesn't mean he's not a good player. He's just a bit slow. Plus, we won't sign him as Ida is our priority target. I don't think Hearts were worried about him going to Celtic anyway, because I think Shankland's a big Rangers man. Adam says he'll take anyone. It's all about the Conference League anyway. That's where the fun is, isn't it? Well, fun.
Here we go.
Yeah, this is the draw underway right now. Stuart says he thinks Duncan Ferguson will be the next boss to go. That's because Stuart is a Ross County fan.
You might be right, because Inverness are really struggling.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they got beat by Annan in the groups and got beat 6-0 by Dundee. Anyway, on to European talk. We have the draw coming in. We have 51 people in the live. So if you've got any opinions that you want to say to us or any questions, let us know. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're nearly at 12,000, so that'd be... Oh, sorry, Stuart. I thought Stuart was a Ross County fan. That's a big mistake to me. That's because I've got a Ross County fan that comments on my stuff quite a lot. I got mixed up. Sorry. I have so many apologies to send you, Stuart. It's on right now. It's on UEFA.com. Shankland's too good for Rangers. Should move to a lower Prem club like Brentford or Fulham, for example. What do you think, Graham? What's the highest Shankland could go if he does depart?
I think the one thing he lacks is pace.
Yeah.
I think he'd probably, for me, be a really good player in the Championship, English Championship. But he's just phenomenal. 59 goals in 2 seasons. He's the best striker I've seen at Hearts since John Robertson. He's just amazing. But I could probably see him playing in the English Championship.
Plus, there's 46 games in the league there, so he could easily get 50 goals in a season. Oh, we've got an Anderlecht fan in the chat. Let me know how you think your season's going to go. Of course, you're getting drawn right now. So Anderlecht's a club I'd like to see in Europe. And speaking of which, I've just missed the. I'll just rewind it, see who they've got. Because it's just been made. Sean says, don't think Shankland is good enough for the Prem. So no trying to be disrespectful, as I don't think Kyogo would be either. Yeah, I think we all have the same opinion that Shankland should stay at Hearts. So Group 2 is just being made right now. I missed who Anderlecht got. Hearts will not sell Shankland. Hearts will make more money in Europe. And if we finish third next season, more in the Hearts bank account than Rangers will pay for him. You're listening to Rangers Gone. The two G's in the chat right now. Hearts says the fans love him and he scores for fun. Plus, he won't get European football with a team like Luton in the Championship. Mm-hmm. If McBurney can play in the Prem, I think Shankland the key will go. Oh, man. We're just finishing Group 2. I think Hearts in Group 3. Yep. Good to hear, Joseph. The draw is underway at the moment, so we're just about to learn who Hearts will be playing in the next couple of minutes. So Group 2, Lask are playing either Sparta Prague or Steaua Bucharest or FCSB. Santa Coloma or RFS will be playing Slovan Bratislava or Apoel. FK Panevėžys of Lithuania or Maccabi Tel Aviv will be playing TSC Baka Topola. And the winners of the losers of Malmo or PAOK will be playing NK Celia of Slovenia or Shamrock Rovers. This is the group that Hearts are playing in. You nervous, Graham?
A mixture of both excitement and nerves. I'm not going to lie. I just don't want Braga or Servette. Just didn't be Braga or Servette.
Pairing 6, so that is Midtjylland or Ferencváros against KI Klaksvik or Borac Banja Luka. So that's one out. Molde, FK or Cercle Bruges are out now. Wouldn't be too disastrous for Hearts to get. But HNK Rijeka or IF Elfsborg.
It's going to be Braga.
It's looking that way, isn't it?
That leaves Braga or Servette or the Ukrainian team or Victoria Pilsen.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Welcome back, Sonny.
I'm back.
Oh, here we go, Graham. Braga or Servette have been drawn first. against Trabzonspor or Rapid Vienna.
It's the Ukrainian team.
Yeah, or Victoria Pilsen.
It's the one I wanted.
Yeah, it's a good draw for you.
Hope there's been no VAR and to mistake with the balls, and it's actually going to be Braga on the Servette.
So away first for Hearts. So those games will be played on the 22nd or 29th of August. So you'll be happy with that, Graham?
I'll take that. That's not a bad draw. I wanted them. I didn't want Braga or Servette, so I'm happy with that. I think that's a winnable tie.
Yeah.
Definitely winnable.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully you do, because that'd be great for the coefficient. So we've got 45 minutes till the Conference League is made. Let's have your comments coming in. Questions for Graham before he departs. Why is goggsysaan? Shit. It's actually my office. Like, you can't see my actual setup, but I promise it's actually all right. Yeah. Let us know in the comments what you think of Hearts draw. What you think? How will they do? And we'll sit and chat about it for a wee bit. So, Sonny, what do you think about Hearts' opponents as they play the team from Ukraine? That's what we'll call them.
Yeah, I think it's better. Well, I think it's better than who Graham didn't want, the obvious draw, Braga, and I think avoiding Kirkle Bruges I think. They come over and played obviously Kilmarnock, but I think avoiding them, they looked a decent enough side. Do you know they could have won that game. I think not on that day, but you could tell that they did have quality. The two wingers, well, the front three, in fact, they were really good. So I think avoiding Kirkle Bruges, it wouldn't have been the end of the world.
I think that's the thing, though, because like on the continent they're a lot more technical, whereas in Scotland it's a lot of like a kick and rush type of thing. It's very physical, and the European teams don't like playing against that because like they're not as physical as what is over here. But it's I think it's a difference in culture, really.
Yeah.
So we've got Lewis Lauder says Hearts have a good chance against the Ukrainian team, but they need to keep the form going into that game. I think obviously Victoria Pilsen might be a more difficult tie. They got to the groups last season, but it's a tie I look forward to. And I'm going to try and head along to that, and hopefully Hearts do enough away from home to keep in the tie for the second leg, because that'll be very interesting to watch. Mm-hmm. John Mitchell says, why worry about Braga? We have knocked them out of Europe before.
True, but that was a long time ago. And they're a very different side now. I mean, so are we, but it's a tie you wouldn't want. All you've got to do is look at the budgets of the two teams. I think that'll be a very hard tie. I honestly think Pilsen or the Ukrainian team, we've got a chance. The first leg being away, if we can keep it tight against either one of them, take it back to Tynecastle, hope for another Rosenborg night, I think we've got a chance. I genuinely do.
That was a good night. I was at the Rosenborg game. I really enjoyed that game. I'm just looking. 2004, that was when you split the Old Firm, wasn't it? When you beat Braga.
We split them 2005, 2006 in the Barley.
Mm-hmm. That must have been a good. Were you at the Braga game in 04?
Yeah.
Must have been quality. Yeah, as established, I think if Hearts were to play any of the like top 7 league teams, I mean, there are teams that they could compete against, but obviously it's a lot more difficult. And Pilsen from the Czech league, like, they've won numerous titles, so they've got a good pedigree coming into this. But it's an interesting tie because I look forward to seeing that from like an outsider's perspective, because like especially at Tynecastle, I think Hearts can play against anyone and compete on a good day. But it's just about how they do away, because they need to build a solid foundation for the home game.
Yeah, we need to keep it tight. Whoever we play, we need to keep it tight. Make sure we're still in the game going back to Tynecastle. But I think the good thing for me is, even if we get beat, we know we've got the fallback of the Conference League. So as much as I love to get through, we know that we've got the fallback. So it doesn't really make too much of a difference.
Thing is, if you go through, you're guaranteed 10 games in Europe this season, spanning past Christmas, which would be fantastic for the club. Obviously, Conference League has a different schedule. But Gibbo, Hearts will be playing FC Kryvyi of Ukraine or Victoria Pilsen. Their ties will be this week on Thursday and the following Thursday as well. Cappy says, don't think Hearts would get battered, but if they got Braga, they would lose to them by a few goals, but it wouldn't get too messy. Same year Hearts split the Old Firm was the same year Gretna got Europe, and they played at Fir Park, and that's why they got pumped.
They got hammered. I think they got hammered by Derry City or something. Like
5-1. Yeah, and drew 2 each away. But yeah, it is a bit mental. That was coming up for 20 years ago. So let's keep the comments rolling. Trips, we've been on for nearly 2 hours now. Myself and Sonny. It's been some shift already, and we've got another hour or so to go with the Conference League draw being made. We'll be having Sam Smith from St Mirren and Laurie Finlayson from Kilmarnock coming in, so we're looking forward to having them, and we'll be chatting to them about their team's chances against both Norwegian outfits this week and next. Sean says, don't think Braga are better than Celtic or Rangers. Well, Rangers beat them a couple of years ago, and Hearts compete with them in games, but a two-game or two-leg game will be different from a league game. Kelly Gamer YT says, Graham, what's up, mate? It's me, Ross.
Afternoon, Ross. Hope you're well, mate.
Obviously, we're going to start having St Mirren and Kilmarnock fans filtering in very soon, because it's a very exciting time for both of those clubs as well. But we'll change branding to Conference League stuff now for the following draw coming up. That guy's a Motherwell fan. Well, I hope you know that, because you've come to my channel. It's not like I've got 11 years worth of evidence that I'm a Motherwell fan. It's been painful. So we'll run through who Kilmarnock could get in 35 minutes or so. That's when the draw starts. Kilmarnock will be playing either FC Copenhagen, FC Banek Ostrava, Heidenheim from Germany, RC. I'm going to butcher this, even though I've got a qualification in National 5 French, but I think it's long. Omanoia Nicosia from Cyprus, or Fervar from Hungary, or the winners of Trabzonspor against SK Rapid Vienna. There's some fiery teams in that group there. What do you think, guys?
I think I'd want to avoid Trabzonspor, because that Turkey is not going to be easy. Rapid Vienna probably could beat them, but there's a lot of difficult teams in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yes.
I think that Omonoy is the ideal. I said it before. The ideal draw for them if they get past who's the other team on that side?
Fervar.
Fervar, they're Hungarian, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
If they get past, I doubt any Kilmarnock fans would want to play Copenhagen, Heidenheim even, or obviously not the Turkish side, Trabzonspor. So Omonoy or Fervar.
I think for the trip, I think Heidenheim would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Copenhagen as well is good. Banek Ostrava got beat 3-0 by Dundee in pre-season. So I think, then again, pre-season friendlies, we've said already that you don't read too much into them. But I think as a creator myself and someone who looks to go to the European matches, I think Rapid Vienna or Trabzonspor would be something worth watching. But then again, we're looking at the hope of progression for Kelly. So I do think, as we've said, Omonoya or Fervar would be a good chance. I think Hearts played Pax from Hungary in a previous qualifier.
Yeah, 1-4-1.
So I mean, the Hungarian league, I think a Scottish team can handle it, or Cypriot. I think Omonoya have a bit more resources, so I think they would progress through that tie. Krivas Krivi was only founded in 2020, and it's only taken them. Well, I think they've already been in Europe before as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. Joe Mamas, very good, says Graham is the biggest Hearts fan. Sean says, what's one team you would want to see at Fir Park in a friendly or something like that? We used to play some sort of foreign teams. We've played the likes of Hellas Verona. I think we had a couple of Spanish teams over as well. In terms of a European tie, I'd love a team like Copenhagen to come to Fir Park. Just something that would have a bumper crowd, because we don't really get that at Fir Park at the moment. Copenhagen don't just lie down to teams. I mean, they did concede against Bruno's Magpies in the previous round, but still, they are a very good side. But I think if Motherwell were to be playing any of these teams, I would love it. Just to be there would be a fantastic experience. What about Sonny? Like, if Carlisle were to play any European side, like who would you pick off the top of your head? Something that like you could compete against.
Annan.
That's a derby for you, isn't it?
Yeah. No. Something we can compete. Now, I've been saying for the last couple of years. Do you know the EFL Trophy? The Pizza Cup, or now the Bristol Street Motors. Yeah. I've said that if you win that, you should get the first qualifying round to the Conference League. Do you know? So it means something, because you get no team in England even bothers with that competition. It's pointless. It's meaning that there's no one likes it. They get about 300 people at every game. It's pointless. But if you added something like that into it, I'm sure it means something. But someone who we could get a result against. Someone in that conference, not Fiorentina, who St Mirren have a chance against, but someone like Omonoya. So, do you know? So just something different.
Yeah.
Apart, anyone really? Just anyone.
We'll move on to St Mirren's potential. Oh, just not my desk. So St Mirren could be playing either Fiorentina. Graham's probably seen them when they played Hearts. Olympia Ljubljana or Sheriff Tiraspol, Brøndby or Legia Warsaw. Which either side of those, that's a big tie. That is Zurich or Vitoria or CS Corvinal, Hunadwara or Astana. I think the best chance is playing the latter of the sides there. But I mean, Fiorentina rocking up to Paisley. That would be a sight worth beholding.
That's the one for your vlog.
Yeah, I would actually. That would be something else. We've got a couple more comments. Jamie's asking Graham if he's going live on TikTok soon.
I did one this morning. I'll see. I might do.
I'll tune into that once we're off the stream.
I'll follow you on TikTok now as well.
Oh, what a guy! I'll also be making content around the Scottish teams playing in Europe.
Just on that St Mirren, we actually played Zurich in a qualifier a couple of seasons ago and should have beat them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they weren't a great side.
I think they were struggling in their league as well at one point. I'm pretty sure.
We absolutely battered them at Tynecastle, couldn't score. Ended up getting beat.
Wasn't it 3-1 on aggregate or something like that?
Yeah. Lost the first leg 2-1. Absolutely hammered them second leg. Couldn't score. George Grant got sent off, but I was raging not to have won that because we're all over them. Should have won that.
It's funny that, like, I know this is a different level, but we got put out by Stjarnan 10 years ago, team from Iceland, and we were all over them. We were 2-0 up after 20 minutes or so in the first leg and then drew 2 each. They got 2 penalties. Keith Lasley conceded them both. And then over in Iceland, we took the lead twice, lost 3-2 after extra time. And Stjarnan ended up going through to play Legia Warsaw, and they beat them with their only shot on target over 2 legs, and ended up going to play Inter Milan in the following round. Raging, absolutely raging, because we could have gone on to play, because we were a decent side back then. I mean, that season we ended up in the playoffs, I think. But still, if we'd gone through to play at the San Siro, I've never forgiven Motherwell for losing that game. But Stuart says, should the Scottish leagues expand, it makes the league. Yeah. I'm not one to go in. Like, we could be on for another 2 hours or so just talking about league reconstruction. And we missed our chance a couple of years ago. That's the end of it, unfortunately. Remember, Burnley played Aberdeen. That was really good as well. I wish I was at that. Drew 1 each at home, and then forced them to extra time. I think they lost 3-1 at Turf Moor as well. Sheriff beat Real Madrid a few seasons ago in the Champions League. I actually watched that. That was a good game. Who's Aberdeen playing in Europa League this season? That's funny. Yeah, Lewis Rex overhead kick. But as we are, we're coming to a different time slot soon. In 12 minutes, we'll have Kelly and St Mirren represented on the stream. So we'll be focusing on that very soon. You think Carlisle would stay up in the SPFL, Sonny?
Yeah.
Well, if you're spending $7,000 a week on a player, then I'd expect my team to do the same. I think our average wage is probably about $1,500 to $2,000 a week.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Hearts are paying top dollar for the likes of Salazar and that coming across. Right. But before you go, Graham, have you got any socials that you can plug the hell out of for the next couple of minutes?
Yeah, so I am on Twitter or X, which I really hate calling it that, in case any of my ex-girlfriends are watching. I am on @Graham0122824, and I'm also on TikTok @Hearts_enthusiast. You can get me on TikTok on there.
And his links will be in the description as well once we've finished the stream. But thank you very much, Graham, for coming along. Really enjoyed you having on. Hopefully, should Hearts advance, we'll probably do a live stream of the reacting to the fixtures once Hearts get their before you go, we've got one question. Apart from Blair Spittle, if you could take one player from Motherwell, who would it be?
I don't actually know because Theo Bear's gone. I don't know who else they've got.
Andy Halliday.
No. I couldn't do that again.
If Andy Halliday's watching, I'm very sorry. Highly doubt he is. But yeah, thank you very much once again, Graham. Really enjoyed having you on, and we'll speak to you very soon about Hearts' European ties.
Cheers, guys. See you later, Sonny.
See you after, Graham.
And of course, don't forget to check Graham out on his socials. As he said a couple of minutes ago, if you want to rewind the stream, it will increase the watch time as well, so we'll probably get a couple more pennies for that. KG says Casey or Miller, different players, different positions. You can't compare, but Len Miller is going to go very far in his career. Motherwell, it's my dad's fault. He's responsible for that. Joe Mama says, Sonny, no way Carlisle would stay up.
I think we would.
I just remember, like, the resources in Scotland are probably the same, like, over the pace. Like, we've got probably about 3 different standards in our top flight alone. From Hearts below, it's very eaksy-peaksy, and then you've probably got the bottom 3 would probably be like League 2, National League level, whereas Celtic and Rangers probably push towards the Premier League. And you've got probably Hearts, Aberdeen, Hibernian would probably fare lower Championship or higher League 1.
Yeah. I think we'd stay up.
But if Carlisle are spending $7,000 on one player, then I think they'd be all right in the Premiership.
Yeah, and he scored, I think it was 30 goals in 40 games for Sunderland 3 seasons ago, maybe now, but hopefully we get that form.
John says, Gogsy, my dad supported Hibs. I chose Hearts. Fair enough. He chose life. If you get the reference. I better not say that. My missus' family are Hibs fans. Get lynched. Kelly have signed someone. We'll just have a look. I know my mate works for Kilmarnock. We'll be looking forward to seeing who they get in the next round, should they progress. I'm pals with Lachlan, who has been on the streams before, but obviously works at Killie now, so he can't really do this sort of fan media anymore. Gogsy, what do you think of Blair McNally? Oh, Blair's sound. Like, I was at the Killie and St Mirren games with him because, of course, we were both making content for it. I enjoy his company. He's a good lad. He's got his own niche, which is fantastic to see. There's a lot of stuff in Ireland, which I enjoy watching. Inverness nearly got West Ham, but they lost to Astra Juju of Romania. Remember that. Astra Juju actually are, I think they're 3rd tier of Romania now, and they're one of the worst teams in that league. Just shows how much things can change, especially on the continent. Rangers got beat at home 4-1 to Unuria Urziceni of Romania in the Champions League group stages probably about 10-15 years ago. And they're no longer a club. Now, Romanian football's very weird. Like, a lot of their teams playing in European competition end up going extinct or become a Phoenix club. Lachlan's great. Shout out to him. Who's the weirdest player Motherwell has ever been linked with? We've had a few horrors. Being linked with someone, though. I actually probably couldn't say. What about yourself, Sonny, at Carlisle?
I can't even think off the top of my head. We've had, I mean, every season's the same with us. I don't know about you. We get linked to about 100 players, and not one of them ends up joining. Honestly, I can't think.
I think one player I will say that we had on trial. His name was Bira Dembele. He was at Barnet, and he only played 45 minutes against Stirling Albion. It was on my birthday. The one time I've seen Motherwell play on my birthday was against Stirling Albion. We won 2-0. It was on my 18th, and Bira Dembele absolutely walked it. He was miles ahead of everyone else. He was a wonderful player, and it actually broke my heart when he didn't sign a contract. I think he ended up at someone else. But no, it was absolutely a Rolls Royce of a centre half against Stirling Albion. You'll never hear that again.
I've remembered mine from a season and a half ago. I think it was. It was Andy Carroll.
Really?
Floating about on Twitter before he went to Reading. No, it was before. Where's he at now? He's in France now, isn't he? Or he was. He went to like a French second tier side.
He was at Amiens.
Yeah, before he went there, we were linked with him.
He had Darcy Elzevon with Aberdeen. That was a hoot. Welcome back, AG. Good to see you back amongst the comments. So we'll run through them very soon once again. But we'll just keep reacting to your comments as you filter through. We've got 29 in the chat, so feel free to comment what you think or who you think Kilmarnock will get or St Mirren. We're just going to get our guests coming in right now. Speaking of Kilmarnock, we have got Laurie Finlayson in the chat. Welcome, mate. How are you doing?
All good, Goggsy, yourself?
Fantastic, mate. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you on.
It's an absolute pleasure.
So we'll just run through who Kilmarnock could be getting right now. So have you had a look, Laurie?
Yeah, I have had a wee look, and I'll be honest, I'm a little bit scared of anyone watching will see it coming along the bottom of your screen now. So Kilmarnock potential opponents, and I'm a little bit scared of them. So let's go through them. So Copenhagen, that would be nice, in terms of the prestige and European history of them. But I don't think we do particularly well. Banet or Strava or Czechia, not really heard of them. I imagine they're pretty decent. Heidenheim, surprise package in the Bundesliga. RC Lons, obviously decent French side. Omonia of Cyprus would be nice for a holiday. Fenerbahce of Hungary could be a challenge. And obviously Trabzonspor of Turkey. We don't really want to go to Turkey. It's a bit of a challenge to get to. And then obviously Austria, Vienna. Vienna's a nice city by all accounts, but I think in all of those ties, Kelly would very much be underdog. I'm not going to hide from that.
Yep, and we've also got Sam coming in from St Mirren. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Fantastic. We'll run through who St Mirren could be getting now because we've done the same with Laurie. So, Sam, have you had a look? What do you think?
You're just wanting to avoid Fiorentina, aren't you? Out of all the other ones, it's probably one of the ones that will be relatively cheap to get to out of everywhere else. But I think when you're at this stage, you're kind of, if we get past Bran, you're kind of you're thinking about maybe trying to get through, depending on who you get. But we'll see. I'm just enjoying it. It's the first time in my lifetime I've been in Europe, so just enjoy it while it lasts.
Did you go over to Iceland?
I did not. I was in Barcelona.
Oh yeah, you said to me.
I was in Barcelona when that was on, so I had to watch it, and when we were out for dinner, which the missus wasn't too pleased about. So,
Oh, brilliant! Laurie, did you head across to Belgium?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. Although I was able to watch it last week. But I mean, the home leg at Rugby Park, that was brilliant. And even for me, it felt like my first proper European experience because I was obviously at Rugby Park when we embarrassed ourselves in front of the nation against a certain Welsh team. But unfortunately, I didn't make it over to Belgium. But I mean, I wish it did. It felt like the vast majority of Kilmarnock made it over. There was, well, when I say that, and I'm exaggerating slightly, but I mean, there was 2,500 Kilmarnock fans in Bruges. There's probably still quite a few out there, but I believe there's been some transport issues for some on the way back. But you know, it looked as if for those who were out there, it was the experience of my lifetime. So I really wish I was there.
AG says Ostrava would be the best away day. Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Poland are the best 3 countries in the world. Fair enough.
Yeah, 3 places I've never been. But...
I've been to Krakow, but I've yet to check. I've yet to check over. That wasn't even deliberate.
Terrible.
Oh, that's awful. We've also had a theme over the last 10-15 minutes or so. The weirdest links that your club has had. So feel free to mention any player that your team's been linked with. Sam, of course, there's a link with Riyad Mahrez.
That was a strange one. I mean, like I think there was like it's been kind of blown well out of proportion. Like I mean, obviously, I think it was on trial, and I think it was over. He either scored 5 goals in one game or 5 goals across 2 games, and he stole Jim Goodwin's bike to cycle to the airport to get away. But I think it was under. I'm sure that was under Danny Lennon, and I mean we were pretty poor at that time, and I don't think Riyad Mahrez would have enjoyed playing in a Danny Lennon team in his first season because we were battering the ball long to Michael Higdon for the majority of that season.
Love Big Higgy.
Oh, so did I. And he was a bit of a split figure in our support as well.
Yeah,
bizarrely.
It was the same with us. Like his first season, I think he scored 12 goals or something like that, and people didn't like him because he wasn't your type of player that would run after everything.
He's a lazy big guy. Like he's got absolutely zero interest in chasing stuff about. But I mean, even like that season, he got 30 goals from Motherwell. It was tremendous. Like,
I was going to say, was he not like untouchable in like 2012, 13 or something like that when Motherwell finished second?
Yeah, scored 26 goals, which broke the post-war record for amount of goals scored by a non-Old Firm side until Lawrence Shankland last season, which was obviously unheard of. And as Kevin Van Veen got 29 in one season as well, but he was fantastic, and then he did himself a disservice by getting arrested the night he won Player of the Year.
So I think I remember seeing the news article. He said it was the best night of his life.
Wonderful.
Each to their own.
Inverness almost signed Harry Maguire in a loan deal back in 2011 under Terry Butcher. That's
wow.
That is something.
The best one I can remember of Inverness, I remember they signed the guy who won that Football's Next Star, Ben Greenhalgh. I think he played there for like maybe 2 or 3 seasons. I mean, Dissy played there. I don't think he played, and I think it was pretty terrible compared to the contract that he earned at Inter Milan on that telly show. But that's about the most obscure one, Inverness.
For Motherwell, I do believe we were about to sign Kieran Tierney on loan this season that he broke through at Celtic, but the left back at Celtic, I think, was it Daniel Majstorovic, something like that, or was it Zagiri? He was injured for the rest of the season, and that was where Tierney broke through.
There was a rumour at the time, obviously Motherwell as well. We were looking at him. So I think that year Motherwell finished in they bottom 6, I think, at that point, and McGee was the manager as well. And St Mirren were in the Championship, and I remember at the time that there was a rumour that St Mirren were about to like take him on loan as well. But then obviously they ended up getting 3 or 4 injuries at left back. And I mean, the rest is history. Guy's one of Scotland's best players now. So,
aye.
I'm trying to think of any cool Kilmarnock ones. I can think of random players who we did sign that went on and had, interesting careers. I mean, one of them that comes to mind is Sean Longstaff. Had a brief stint with McKelly and did rather well, but no one would have thought that he's probably like over 100 appearances plus for Newcastle United now. In terms of players we almost signed, And it was Kieran Tierney that made me think of this, but with not anyone near as exciting. I think we came close to signing Anthony Ralston just after we got relegated, possibly unknown. We couldn't do it. Ankos Foley obviously kept him at Celtic and got about running the team. And instead we signed Jason Naismith, who I'm sure is now a part-time player. And the
Johnston
junior
Borough.
group, so there you go.
Yeah.
He's at Johnston Borough. He was a good player for St Mirren as well back when he first broke through. Naismith, I think he's just had a pretty terrible time with injuries as well. I think he picked up his kind of first serious one just before it was like 6 months before he left St Mirren and went to Ross County. Then he went to Ross County, Peterborough, Hibs. He's had a decent career, but he's probably earning more at Johnston Borough than he would have played for some of the teams in the Championship. So,
Aye.
AG says Ralston is a shockingly bad player, and so shockingly bad that he's got international caps. I felt sorry for him after the mistake he made against Switzerland. I don't think he ever recovered from it.
I think he just got to dry. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. It was the only guy fit and able to play in that position. He's never played wing back before. He's only ever played wing back for Scotland. He gets played right back for Celtic, and his main priority is getting the other half of the pitch. He really needs to defend. I felt bad for him. It was one of the guys I kind of tried not to criticise because he was there because no one else could do it.
Aye, because he wasn't Scotland quality, but you know what?
Nah.
The guy showed up. He did all he could.
Yeah. See the whole thing about Rangers and Celtic fans saying other Scottish clubs need to contribute to the coefficient. There's only so much you can do with the resources you've got.
Aye, it's hard. It's difficult. I know. There's the kind of obvious ones you can have a go at. Kelly getting beat off Connors. It's obviously, who was it? Was it Sligo that beat Motherwell a couple of seasons ago? But I know, sorry, mate.
No, that's all right.
There's plenty of times where Rangers and Celtic have played in the group stages of the Champions League, the Europa League, and been pretty poor. It was a few seasons ago what Celtic got knocked out the Europa groups and then get beat off fair enough, Bodo Glimt are a decent team, but with the resources Celtic have, it totally dwarfs what they have, and they should have beat them over two legs. But I get it to an extent, but you can only do so much. All of these teams there's so many factors that come into it as well. These teams are a lot of teams you play are now maybe a third or halfway through their season now. So I don't know if you've watched the first leg with St Mirren and Valur, but never really looked much between the teams other than the fact that they were pretty sharp and they had played a lot of football up until that point. And it's obviously since then, we stuck four past them, but that's only because we had the experience of maybe a few more players up to match fitness and that. But you can only do so much. These teams that you play in European stages are good, and they do it every year, and a lot of other teams don't do it every year.
That's due to the inconsistency of our league. Obviously, there's the three main clubs that should be competing, like Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen, but the thing is, underneath third, it's going to be a bit of a lottery to predict who's going to finish where. Because I think Hibs are going to have a poor season. I think Aberdeen are a bit better than they were, but I don't know where you have your respected clubs to finish this season in your predictions. But I'd love to hear it.
I think I was sixth. I said when we done a season review, preview a couple of weeks ago. I said sixth. I think it's difficult, like you said. Though you're expecting, I was expecting Hibs to be a bit better, but based on yesterday, Hibs looked absolutely terrible. And I think in the League Cup groups they were pretty poor. Aberdeen should, in theory, get better, but I think that might be a bit of a slow burner with him. I think that might be maybe a season and a bit before you see the kind of full effect of what he can do. But I would take 6 in a heartbeat. It'll be tight though.
What about yourself, Lloyd?
Yeah, I think when it comes to Kelly, I pretty much looked at the same as the standards with St Mirren, because I've said 6. I'm kind of going between 5th and 6th place, and I still feel like we can do it. But obviously, if we do qualify for the is it now league phase of the Conference League, I think that could close a bit. I don't think we do an Aberdeen, you could say, but as long as we finish in the top 6 this season, I'm happy enough. I don't think we're going to replicate 4th place. I'll say that.
Aye, well, I actually had my predictor St Mirren 6th and Kelly 5th because I was really impressed with how Kelly played against Circle of Bruges in the first leg. Of course, second leg left a lot to be desired, but I do think both sides are in for a decent enough season, and obviously we've got Kelly in the League Cup, so that'll be an interesting game considering we don't look like scoring at all. But yeah, it was a wee dig there. But we've got a couple more comments. AG saying Aberdeen bet Frankfurt. What odds did they get and how much did they stake?
They were about 10-1 to win that game as well.
Aye.
I remember having a look before the game, but I mean that was a dead rubber for Frankfurt, wasn't it? I mean, it's still a great result for Aberdeen, but.
Come on, Champions League is levels above other European competitions, much harder to win games. Aye, but it's also not as fun because it's always the same teams that are playing Champions League, bar a couple wild cards, for example, Aston Villa playing Champions League this season. But by and large, it's the same top 25 teams basically in the coefficients. But
Champions League is level above, but like Rangers and Celtic have a few shockers. Like Celtic in the qualifiers lost to Ferencváros a few years ago.
Yeah,
I mean that was a bit of a disaster, to be honest. Again, it comes down to it's the same argument that we can have here though. Like Celtic's resources are totally dwarfed by all of these teams in the Champions League, and that's they peddle the kind of same excuse constantly. But then as soon as a fan of St Mirren, Kilmarnock, Motherwell, etc., can come out and use the same excuse, it's not relevant. You should be having a go. Like it's easier said than done. But I mean, I think St Mirren, Kilmarnock, Hearts, maybe in the last couple of years. I mean, Motherwell ran it close a few times, didn't they? Against firm sides last year.
We've had a few times where we've reached the playoff stage. We got beat by Odense from Denmark, losing 2-1 over there. But Tom Haley scored a free kick in the last minute to get in a wee goal, and then we battered Odense at home and lost to a 22nd minute goal by I think it was John Otaka who scored it, and Roy Carroll was playing for Odense in goals, and Eric Jemba. Funnily enough, but. Odense got 2 men sent off in that game as well, and we were all over them. Jamie Murphy hit the post with a penalty in the 87th minute. Just one of those where it was never going to go our way. Shout out to the account Joe Mama for the 99 pence donation. We're off and running for the 2024-25 campaign with our first ever donation. AG says, agree, Gogsy. I love the Conference League. It's like wacky races.
It's just annoying though with the teams that find themselves in it, though, isn't it? Like I think the Conference League was initially brought in to be like a competition for lesser teams, but like why are Chelsea have a £1 billion squad? And I know it's all down to where they finished in the league, but that's not the point of it. Like.
No, it's not.
It's the point of it is to give lesser teams a chance, and like Aston Villa have been in it last year. I mean, who was it that won it in the end?
Olympiacos.
Yeah, and you're like these are Champions League teams playing in a lesser competition, but it is what it is. It's just another kind of money grab for UEFA. So, but it is good. I love it. Some of the teams that have played in it in the last few years it's been great.
It's good to see the likes of like I keep going on about PAOK. Because I saw them play twice. They got to the I think it was the semi-final or quarterfinals at least. And I mean, it's stories like that I think are really good to see, because you see clubs that probably compete at no higher than a group stage for the Europa League going far in the Conference League, which is it makes things a bit more interesting as well.
It's definitely more suited. I think the Europa League's probably Europa League group stages and like kind of knockouts. I think is where Celtic Rangers are well suited for. I mean, Rangers have been tremendous in Europe for as long. I mean, what's that? Like the last 5 or 6 since Gerrard came in, really have been really, really good in Europe. So I think Celtic have Celtic have been better domestically and have won the league, so have ended up playing in the Champions League. And I mean, some of the teams that they've ended up playing, like Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, like they've played a lot of big teams. But I think the Europa League groups kind of maybe into the last 16, like round about what Rangers and Celtic should be aiming for as a minimum.
Joseph says, who are Hearts going to play? They'll be playing either that team from Ukraine, I can't pronounce properly, or Victoria Pilsen. So it's an interesting tie for them. Ferencváros, Cluj, Midgetland. Oh dear.
And they're not going to be ahead for Celtic when it comes to European, disasters, albeit it wasn't a disaster in the end. I'm sure they lost one of their legs against, I think it was Lincoln Red Imps.
Yep.
Aye.
Brendan Rodgers first to go, but I think
first game.
I think they smashed them at Celtic Park, but they lost them to Gibraltar, I'm sure.
Aye.
AG says, as I said before, I really think we can judge clubs like Hearts, Sheeps. God, I got to stop reading comments word for word. St Mirren and Kilmarnock are a bit different.
To an extent, I think it's still. I mean, it still changes every year. The teams that are in Europe, like Aberdeen, Hearts, and Hibs, have been so inconsistent for so long that it's not as if they're qualifying for. I mean, Hearts have been qualifying for Europe every year, but I think Aberdeen under McInnes didn't really do much in Europe, did they? I mean, obviously they had a fairly unlucky draw that time to get Burnley, and they looked as if they might have done something if they never had that draw. Hibs aren't really in it enough to.
Oh, I love it.
It's hard to judge. I think if teams are in it every year, then fair enough, you can kind of measure the progress. I think this year's probably be good to see where Hearts are. I think if they get through, I think Pilsen's a pretty hard test. If they get through that, then fair enough. But I think the Conference League would be I don't know how many games you play in that league phase. It will be a good test for Hearts, regardless.
If Hearts make the Europa League proper, they will be playing at least 10 European ties this season, stretching past Christmas, whereas Conference League, I think, finishes just before Christmas. Because I think Conference League sticks to the same.
Maybe?
Sorry?
Is it 8 European ties maybe in the conference?
I think
conference is 6.
But
because it's a smaller competition. Queen of the South played. I remember that played Northern Ireland.
Falkirk as well. I can't remember.
They lost to Vaduz.
Yeah.
From Liechtenstein. I think Queen of the South's tie against North Zealand was at East End Park. Correct me if I'm wrong, because
I think so.
Palmerston's not fit for it.
No. Sport in general. Shocking ground.
Aye. Bird shit everywhere.
Aye. It's always also freezing every single time I've been. And I've been in like the summer at times as well. Like it's a bizarre place.
Yeah. Gretna had a shocker in Europe as well. Yeah. Because they played at Fir Park though. I'll take the brunt of that.
Fir Park had sandcastles on the pitch.
Yeah. But it still had a 6 each draw played on it, so it was alright.
And what a game that was.
I'm gutted I wasn't at that. Robbie Collins says, alright guys, Sam, how are you feeling with their depth for these Thursday, Sunday games?
I think we're maybe, what was it Robbo said yesterday in the interview, we're sitting on a squad of like 20 first team players, but you're only 1 or 2 injuries away from a bit of a disaster at times in kind of key areas. But I don't know, Robinson's an absolute liar in the media, and had said 2 weeks ago that that was us done in case anything special came up, and then during the week there he was like, oh well, you don't know, like we're looking for something that could maybe like proper first team players, but we'll see. I think if we maybe brought maybe 1 or 2 more in, I don't know, but the positions I don't know where, because to be honest we're well stacked across the board. I think Robinson's made a point of having 2 players that can play in every single position. I think maybe one area that fans will probably want to see brought in is maybe another striker, but again, I think we're pretty fine there, to be honest. We're still waiting on McMenamin and Kilty coming back, which will bolster the numbers in the squad as well. They're 2 guys that start every week, so it'll be tough.
One thing I'll say before you come in, I loved Robo at Motherwell. He was very unlucky in his last season with injuries, and it was during the COVID campaign. But like, I've got so much time for him. He was brilliant with us. But
Love him, absolutely love him.
He knows how to play the media as well.
Aye. He's kind of. I think the way a lot of the guys in the media seem to kind of not like him, do they? Like the way he can be a wee bit frosty as well, which probably leads to him being a wee bit underrated. I feel. I think a lot of the media outlets this summer have been talking up how good, like Dundee's recruitment's been, Kilmarnock's recruitment's been, and like it's always everyone kind of glosses over how good Robinson is at what he does, and I mean I don't think Robinson has made one bad signing for St Mirren. The only one that was like dubious was Olisanya when he came in. He went on loan to Arbroath, and Robinson kind of uses a magic wand and has him now starting games in European competition. He's a vital part of the team. Hopefully it works out with James Scott though. Looking forward to seeing him up to speed this year.
Yeah, I actually spoke to him on Thursday before, like when his...
Seems like such a nice guy. He's just one of the guys you really want to do well. He had such a horrible time at Exeter. I mean, I seen it firsthand against St Mirren, how good he was for Motherwell when he broke through. Like some of the goals he scored against us were ridiculous.
I think it was 2 goals and a 3-0 win at Paisley on a Wednesday night.
Aye. He scored one and a 2-0 win as well. I think Chrissy Long scored the other. That was for like 20-30 yards. He played a 1-2 at the edge of the box. It was a cracker. But I don't know if you've seen his 2 assists yesterday. He done tremendous.
I was watching the game, and like he's like a wee Jack Russell.
Yeah, he's deceptively quick.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot to offer, and a lot of our fans St Mirren fans are quite notorious for not being the most patient bunch. But I think Scott's got a lot to offer. I thought yesterday was tremendous, and fingers crossed we can get him up to the standard he was when he got that move to Hull. I mean, he never had any luck at Hull either, did he? Get injured in his first training session. So
I think he was actually already cropped.
Yeah,
because Robbo was our manager at the time, and like he did well, like offloading players who were half fit.
Yeah,
and was it something like 1.5 million we got for James Scott?
It's one thing Robinson's great at though, is getting rid of players at the right time. Done it with Declan Gallagher last year, and obviously like played a couple of pre-season games, and he was like, no, can't run anymore. There you go. Started playing Gogic at centre half, and rest history.
Gogic has been solid.
Animal, an absolute animal. I mean, apart from winning the 5-2 game at Kelly last year when they get the runaround off Vassell and Watkins that day, that's probably the worst I've seen him play. But he's been tremendous.
So the draws are about to be made. They're just going through the procedures, talking about the seeded and non-seeded clubs. So we're looking forward to that. So Laurie, final question: who would you take in the next round should you progress?
Okay, I'm gonna say Copenhagen, just to kind of an almost glamour-ish tie. Because I don't see it through.
And yourself, Sam?
I said anyone that wasn't Fiorentina, so I'm just sticking to that. Anyone that isn't Fiorentina and that is.
You're just wanting a chip because you missed it in the last round.
I'm missing the next one as well. So.
Oh no way!
Anywhere that is relatively cheap to get to, I would take that just now. So. There's a few good ones though. I'm not even Olympia. I'm not even going to attempt to say
Ljubljana.
There we go. Apparently a very nice place to go. So we'll see what that's. We'll see what happens. It's just it's very exciting being in these draws. It's better than being in watching Rod Stewart do a Scottish Cup draw or anything like that. It's different. I bet these draws take ages though. So.
So I think they're just. I'm just quickly double checking we've not missed anything. So they're just doing the Champions Path right now for the likes of HJK, Helsinki, Vikingur, Reykjavik. And then we'll get into the meaty stuff. Group 1, that's where Kilmarnock are in. And Group 2 is where St Mirren are. I'm actually really hoping that the ties are like reversed, so it's like Paisley 1 week, Kilmarnock the next. Like, I was really hoping Kelly would get through so I could go to both games at Rugby Park in St Mirren.
Did you enjoy it on Thursday night?
Loved it, mate. Brilliant.
Good.
Got treated like kings. It was great in the
Brilliant,
media. Yeah, like got free pies and that. It was brilliant.
You get more than we do when we do the commentary, so it's good. James does a good job.
I'm assuming you got a free pie at Rugby Park as well.
Yes, we got more than a free pie at Rugby Park. We got a whole spread in the media room after the game because it was like post-match interviews. We got it was like chicken strips. There was salads for the people that like to be healthy, not me. But the chicken strips they were just different gravy. Honestly, brilliant.
It's Kilmarnock and Motherwell are 2 stadiums I've not done yet.
Really?
Nah, I've not done. I've done Kilmarnock, Hibs, Motherwell, Aberdeen, Dingwall. I think the 2 Dundee teams. I kind of tend to stay a wee bit local, and 9 times out of 10 for those ones, it's when I tend to be going to the pub before it. So don't fancy doing the commentary on days like that. Rangers and Celtic Park are good though for getting treated well.
I've not attempted that yet, but I might apply for one at the Dynamo Kiev game at Hampden.
Aye, the media seats at Ibrox and Celtic Park are brilliant too. I think I'd said before that Ibrox is the best view you get in a stadium. The media, you're like maybe like perfectly on top of the pitch, and you just get such a good view. It's good. Celtic Park's pretty similar, but you do get kind of packed away in the middle next to the hospitality suite. So if you jump up and celebrate a goal when you're on commentary, you're getting a lot of dodgy looks.
That's what it's all about, though.
It's a good laugh. It is a good laugh in a hams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AJ says you should do it, Goggsy, some of the amateurish Rangers podcasts that get access. I'm not going to say that.
Fair play to anybody that sticks their head above the parapet.
The parapet.
Stuff like that. It's not easy to do.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know what the script is with Motherwell podcast, Goggsy, but I mean, we've only got the one, so we're on the only Tipper in one. We've got a really good following. Like we average like maybe 900, 1,000 listeners every episode, which is like a good, sizable chunk of our support. So, I mean,
that's good. I mean, we did have we did have one. I've not really seen too much of it since the last 2 or 3 years. I don't know if they stopped it, but I've tried numerous times to get something going at Motherwell, and I've never had any response from the club.
We don't do it in partnership with the club. I mean, we just do the kind of the commentating stuff came just through. I mean, we got given the commentary in a day's notice 2 seasons ago.
Wow.
Day's notice against Hibs. I was terrified before they put the mics on.
I don't know. It's always difficult the first time, but
I think Kilmarnock have got 2 podcasts, don't they?
Yeah. So there's 2. So there's the Killy View that I'm on as a co-host, which is now going into its 2nd season, and then you've got Forever and Ever, which is going into season 3. Well, I've been on both. I've done Forever and Ever ones as well, filling in for Callum Scott ones, and again they both do get pretty decent listening figures, probably similar to yours, Sam. But I quite enjoy listening to both podcasts because although part of one's own bias, and then Forever and Ever is a big listen to as well because the 2 podcasts are very different. I mean, like the Hilly View and the guys, if they're watching, probably don't mind the shameless plug here. It's a lot more stats based, whereas Callum Monty from Forever and Ever, it's like almost 2 guys down the pub, but I mean that in a positive sense, and it's and it can really strike a good balance. And you know if this is right enough, Kelly used to have their own official podcast briefly. I'm sure Motherwell did as well, but I don't know how long it lasted.
I think it ran for a good couple of seasons, but I think it's I don't know off the top of my head.
It's hard to start, isn't it? I mean, I wasn't there at the start. Like the boys, it was Jamie, Craig, and Ross had started it just maybe like a month before lockdown, and I went on in October. And like I mean, I think at the time it was probably a good time for it to happen, see, because there was no football, and you could put the guys were putting out podcasts just talking about St Mirren, like going over the old stuff and all that. And then when the new season started, it was good. You couldn't go to the games, so you're kind of like, oh, where do you get your fixes? If it's like Laurie said, like in a positive way, it was like guys talking in the pub, like just talking about football, and it was good. And that was, I mean, the boys done tremendous to get it off the ground.
Lockdown was fantastic for interaction and stuff like this. Brilliant. Everyone had nothing to do, so.
I get very good at COD over lockdown. That was the only positive that came through for me.
Oh, brilliant. So the draws are just being made right now for the Conference League playoffs. I think they just draw the numbers.
Yeah, it's grouping 1, grouping 2, and then you've got to work it out yourself for there.
Aye, so that's
So,
team number 4 and team number 6.
Yeah.
So that's not Kelly or St Mirren.
Yeah, because Kelly are number 7, for anyone who's not, tuned in. Yeah, so we'll see who we get. So I'm hoping that we'll be, well, should we say drawn against number 1? Have I got my numbers correct?
Yeah, it's like the first 5, or it's the first 5 you could get. So Omanoia or Ferva has been drawn out, and as has Zurich or Vitoria. So we'll be getting a trip to Switzerland or Portugal anytime soon, Sam.
Nah, it's all right. Sad, but
number 8, that's St Mirren drawn at home.
Here we go.
See if it's number 1.
Here we go.
Number 5. That's a good draw, actually. Corvinal, Hunadwara or Astana.
Nah.
I mean,
Yeah, fan of Borat, Sam?
For the money, Astana's no good. That's it's a long way away. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the one that people would have wanted, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know what level these teams are at, but
Astana beat Celtic, I'm pretty sure, a couple of years ago.
They definitely played each other.
I think they've played Astana a few times.
Yeah, Corvinal Hunadwara are a second-tier Romanian side who won the cup last season.
There you go, you're wanting that.
They just got beat by Rijeka in the Europa League.
Yeah. I think Romania would be relatively easy. I mean, it is relatively easy to get to, but one of the boys in the podcast group chat's just put in Romania or Kazakhstan. Fuck trying to spell their names. It's exactly the way to say who you got. But nah, happy with that. That'll do. I mean, I'm talking about this as if it's like a given right that we're going to get through Bran on Thursday night. But
Bran's a difficult one. I mean, you were given a difficult time no matter what.
I seen one of the guys, like one of the kind of Scottish football pages, who'd said had done like a wee bit of a deep dive on him and said it's like the equivalent of us playing like a Hearts or Aberdeen. And I mean, if you were given the option in a 2-legged tie to play Hearts or Aberdeen, it's not crazy to say St Mirren probably could go through. Maybe like it's not totally mental to say that you could go through that. But we'll see what happens when you get past Bran. I think we need to win on Thursday night to have a chance of getting through that. I wouldn't like to go over there and have to chase something, but I could probably trust us to go over there and protect a lead.
Aye, just need to build the foundations at home on Thursday.
Well, we're scoring, averaging about 3 goals a game at home, 3 or 4 goals a game at home just now, so we'll see what happens.
Aye. Kelly's still waiting to be drawn out. Heidenheim will not be playing against Kelly in the next round should they go through.
Yep, well, second trip to Germany this summer for many people know.
Aye, Robbie, Astana did beat Celtic 4-3 in Kazakhstan. I remember that. And I think they did beat Man United. And Celtic beat 5-0.
Aye. around about the time that Scotland get beaten Kazakhstan as well.
Yeah. Aberdeen just signed the captain of Bran.
Yeah, seen that. I think he was
350k.
He was like touted as their best player. So again, like it's just
He's
so hard
32 though.
Yeah, it's so hard to gauge the level between these leagues. You don't know.
That's Kelly just been drawn out
Okay.
against Copenhagen or Banik Ostrava.
Hey, there we go.
It's a good draw.
I'll take that.
Big fan of that.
That's good. Just a warning, Scandinavia looked as
And
if it was costing a fortune.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be going, put it that way. I mean, obviously Kelly have got the trip to Scandinavia anyway, face Tromsø, and just quickly on that before I give my reaction to the draw itself. You know, it's the same as what you were saying about Bran, Sam. I have no idea really about the level of Tromsø whatsoever.
I've watched a bit of Norwegian football in my time. I think Tromsø is very beatable. Bran, I think, are a bit better.
I think they're a good team.
I think St Mirren's got the work out, but if they can win the first leg, like Kelly, hopefully, I think it's a good chance of going through. I mean, they're all beatable, but like Kelly getting 3 trips to Scandinavia, what are the chances of that?
It's mental, really. But hopefully we can, pull a little bit of a shot. I feel like if we were to play Copenhagen, especially, I can't really comment on Ostrava, but if it's Copenhagen, if we get a result there, that feels quite big, because Copenhagen are one of these teams, as you were saying earlier about the Conference League being like a bit of a place for, ex-Champions League side. I'm not playing Copenhagen were necessarily a good Champions League side, but they were one of those teams that you would often see.
They done all right against Man City last year.
Yeah.
It'll be difficult for both, but hopefully we can both get through.
Absolutely.
Keep the dream going a wee bit longer.
So just to confirm, Kilmarnock will be playing the first leg away from home against the winners of Copenhagen or FC Banik Ostrava. Banik Ostrava actually lost to Dundee 3-0 in pre-season. So I highly doubt they'll get through. So it looks like a trip to Denmark without a ball being kicked yet. Whereas St Mirren will be playing the winners of Corvinal, Hunadwara or Astana in the next round. So that brings a close to the stream. We've been live for nearly 3 hours covering Rangers, Hearts, St Mirren and Kilmarnock. Laurie, where can I find you on socials, just to give you a wee bit of a plug?
All right, so you'll be able to get me on Twitter or X, or whatever everyone calls it. I call it Twitter at Laurie Finlayson, or on Instagram, just go to laurie.finlayson. You'll find me on there. Or if you want to hear me rambling about Kelly, just look up the Kelly View or at KSC View on Twitter.
Fantastic. I love a chain restaurant. Anyway, Sam, where can we find you?
A lot of Kelly fans have that on reg plates, by the way. people buy like private plates with KFC on them.
Fantastic. Sam, where can we find you in socials?
Twitter, Twitter or X as it is actually now. I'm Sam Smith 1877, and if you're interested in ever listening to anything to do with St Mirren, we are at Misery Hunters on X as well, and I think we are actually the same on everything, and also my name is the same on everything, so Instagram, you name it.
Fantastic.
All the same.
And Sonny, where can we find you in socials?
Well, I don't really have anywhere but Stenhousemuir FC.
Yes, myself and Sonny work for Stenhousemuir FC this season, so anything you see in socials probably comes from us. And a few others, because we've got about a team of 8 or 9. But yeah, once again, thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been your host, Goggsy99. I bet you wish you were. And yeah, we'll see you very soon for more European coverage. I'll be at either Kilmarnock or St Mirren this week, depending who gives me the better press access. And no competition, guys. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already and like the content. And we'll see you very soon. Take care.